Yo, everyone, welcome. Welcome to a very special live stream. Hope you've all got your snacks, popcorn, drinks all ready to go. Excuse the scuff setup. It's the joys of capturing Discord rather than, a regular game, but I've done my best. So I have two very special guests with me today. The first guest, who I'm sure many of you know already because we've been around in the same community for like 10 years, is Mr. PMC Trilogy, who's going to be doing, very kindly, taking his Saturday afternoon to do a True Crime New York City speedrun for us. So hello, Mr. PMC Trilogy.
Hello. Thank you for having me, for giving me a reason to play this game again.
Of course. That's all I wanted from you was a reason to get back into this classic. And last but certainly not least, we also have Mr. David Goodrich, and he is the senior game designer. Mr. Goodrich, is that right?
Correct. I was a senior game designer on this project.
Yeah, so we got, it's such a crazy story. Like one day I was just playing this game and all of a sudden this guy comes in and it's like, yeah, I basically, that thing that you're doing, I wrote that. Yeah, I made that. Yeah, that's me in the game right there. Yeah, that's my friend in that character. Like he just like was so engrossed in the game, and I immediately realized that he streams as well. And I was like, we need to do something. Like we need to do a dev reacts to speedrun thing because I love that kind of shit. And also, you should definitely check him out. Check PMC out, of course. PMC is great. But especially Mr. Goodrich, because he also live streams and goes through the games that he's developed before. And he shares, like, exclusive behind-the-scenes stuff. And hopefully we'll be able to get to see some more of that today as well. So sort of behind-the-scenes, concept art, things like that. Things that he drafted up 20 years ago that he's still got in his back pocket somewhere. Yeah, very cool. So yeah, Mr. PMC, if you want to give a quick intro on sort of what the plan is for the speedrun, what version you're playing, that kind of stuff. I know you talked a bit about it on your stream before, but if you wouldn't mind repeating it for the boys in the back.
Yeah, of course. So the plan here is I have done speedruns on all four versions, PC, PS2, GameCube, and Xbox. The PS2 version is the original vision, so to speak. That's the truest crime. I'm going to be playing the PC version, which is the most commonly speedrun version of the game. And what I'll mention is that pretty much all of the speedrun tech that you're going to see me do on the PC version does work on the other versions of the game. The big differences, and it's like 30 to 35 minutes of difference, are the animation speeds, which are typically faster on PC, and then also the loads. How do I fix controller support on PC? I play with keyboard and mouse. That's how I do it.
There's going to be a lot of that.
Yeah,
a lot of ways to avoid problems.
That's my answer there. Obviously, PS2 being the primary development version, I'm not going to attempt to hold Mr. Goodrich to account for what is going on with the PC controls. It's too late. I'm already used to the PC controls at this point. That's life. But but yeah. So basically, I just want to emphasize that whenever you see some sort of weird thing, you can do it on PS2. You can do it on Xbox, and with one exception, you can even do it on GameCube if you really want to.
Yeah,
I think that's all I got.
Got it. Yes, please don't blame me for controls or load times. I was mainly in charge of the melee combat, the fighting styles, the weapons, gunplay tutorials, and then driving mechanics and a few levels. And I sent over a few levels over to Ben and PMC that maybe they'll show off at like intermission here at some point.
Yeah, I think that'd be good. Maybe we can take like certain points, like, so you know how there's like the big chains, right? You've got like I don't remember the names of them, but you've got like the big groups, and then you have the boss fight at the end, and then you do the next one, and so on and so forth, right? Maybe we can, like, when we go through each stage, we can sort of discuss things and then show stuff after as like an intermission. I don't know, something like that. We'll wing it as we go. But yeah, the important thing is, so somebody asked in my YouTube chat as well, can we ask dev questions in the chat? Yes, absolutely you can. Obviously we might not get to all of them if there's like hundreds of people in here, like turning it into like, just a straight Q&A session. We do want to get, the intention of this is to get David's reaction to the speedrun of the game, and, sort of go through, how his vision of the game is very different to PMC's reality of the game that he's about to show him. But you are more than welcome to ask questions, and if we get a lot of questions at the end, we might go into like a sort of Q&A session as well. We've done that before, because sometimes there's like 100 people lining up wanting to ask stuff, and as long as David has time, then if he wants to go, then that's absolutely fine. But he might have time at the end, hopefully, to stick around and answer some questions.
Yeah, and if we don't have time, feel free to drop by my channel, because I am going to start streaming this one more and more and talking about behind the scenes. So that's another place if you want individual questions, or on my Discord. I'm always happy to answer that.
Yeah, awesome. How long is the run? So the run is like an hour PMC, is that right? Like ish?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, if I submitted a marathon estimate, it would be about an hour. I expect to be stopping at times so we can discuss stuff or show off stuff. Obviously we can spread it out as needed. I'm gonna leave that up to y'all to call for breaks if desired.
Yeah, I did intentionally say to PMC, like, can we take breaks to discuss stuff? Because I would like the stream to last more than an hour. If you just blast through the game in 40 minutes and we're like, oh, well, okay, see you later. That'd be kind of underwhelming. So, yeah, probably at least a couple of hours, including, an hour worth of the game and probably some bits to stop and answer some questions and stuff as well. All right, I think that's about everything, right? Unless anyone else has any, whips or anything to cover.
Lead off with the first bit. So some of the speedrun tech. I mean, are you ready for me to go into it?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
As long as everyone else is ready.
Is not like I don't even have to start the game, and we have to have an important discussion here, which is so you have options, and this, I want to be clear, this works on console versions of the game as well. If you go over to the options audio volume mix, I have voice volume set to 0. This saves about 10 minutes doing this. Because when you set voice volume to 0 in any version of True Crime New York City, it doesn't merely mute dialogue. It will skip the time spent waiting for dialogue to play. Was this known? Was this like, did you guys like, I don't know what to make of this.
It probably was a known bug, but
Okay.
Activision handled most of the playtesting because we had our plates full with the actual development. So I think they missed it. Or what happens often in development is we find it at the last minute and there's no time to fix it.
Yeah.
And if it's not a game-breaking bug, they just let it slide.
Yeah, I think I'm almost tempted. I remember when I spent a period of time when you do speedrun routing, you like to go through and do research. You find old material, you read game facts from 20 years ago, and you're looking for weird behavior, right? So that you can follow up and reproduce and investigate it. And I remember, I think I found a post where someone said they had contacted Activision about a sound related problem. And I think what you just said is definitely correct, which is that like someone was aware of it, but was it an important thing to fix? No.
You've got priorities, right? And especially with, so when I've spoke to Mr. Goodrich about like various things in True Crime New York City, a lot of it comes down to, we knew about it, but we didn't have time. It's like, it's always the same thing, right?
Yeah.
When you have like indie projects and you don't have like a deadline from a publisher or anything like that, it's far less complicated. But when you've got to release via like a Christmas period, and I'm sure Goodrich will go more into detail later, but this game had like a very troubled development history, right? Like there was a whole point where like, the game was going in one direction, and halfway through development, they scrapped the whole thing, and then it just became like a rush, right? To get it in at least a somewhat functional state towards the end. So a lot of questions, of like, why is this? Why is that? I see people saying like, why is there nothing on outside of the map? Like, why is this? It's probably because they had like 3 months to get the game together, and that's the best you can do in 3 months with a small team,
Yeah, there's I mean, I can cover a little bit of that. Yes. It wasn't a small team. We didn't have to scrap the whole thing, but halfway through development, the entire game was a continuation of Nick Kang in LA going to New York and eventually going on to Hong Kong. And then because the game was based in New York, Activision did a focus test and about 6 months in said, you know what? Our focus tests say this character should be African American if he's going to be in New York. So please scrap all your cinematics, change the character, rewrite the story, and get this out by what was it, November 16th? Because we booked all the marketing for it. So time to crunch.
Yeah, pretty much an impossible task at that point, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Something to also quickly note, this is to the audience. Please do let me know if there's any like audio balancing, like if you'd like PMC to be louder, if you'd like Goodrich to be less quiet, if you'd like me to be louder, etc. I can just do it myself on Discord. So PMC, you're welcome to start, but if there are any,
Yeah.
problems, like I can
I
control
was-
the game. I've deliberately done it in a way where I can do every bit of audio myself, like manually, so it won't like interrupt the run if somebody's too loud or anything. I can just do it on my end. So do let
The
me know how
loudest-
it sounds once he starts.
The loudest audio will be gunshots. So if someone's listening, like, oh, the game audio is too loud and it's the gunshots doing it, then like, yeah, that is the loudest thing. So
Yeah, which is ideal because like literally the first part of the game is just blasting immediately. So we'll find out very quick.
Yep. All right, so let's go ahead and start up. Of course, the first thing I think to discuss here is immediately we're going to go right out of bounds. The out of bounds thing, as I said, is consistent across versions. And the way you do that when you're indoors in this game, if you're aiming or if you're shooting, you enter like a faster state of walking, and then you go into corners, and then that's just kind of it. Like wherever you're able to go out of bounds using corners, that's how that is.
Oh yeah, you're moving so fast. The collision check actually can't keep up with it, and you're going in between frames.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So like usually you're just using like a kind of a fast movement, or you're using like a little dash. Like because like if you do a double tap, right, you have like a step to the side.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm always impressed with what speedrunners find in all of our games. It's we should have hired you guys as playtesters.
Yeah, here's another example. So the funny thing you mentioned, I think earlier that you did some of the tutorial stuff. The way the speedrun approaches the tutorials is that we do exactly enough of the tutorial to pass, and then we clip out of bounds and go to the exit door, which that's just efficient test taking.
Yeah, that's amazing. I don't know. If we make one of these, you can be a playtester though, and then try to reach that up on the worst enemy.
All right, I think we're even. Can you hear Goodrich well?
I'm asking for him to be louder, so I'm turning it up on my end.
Okay. Is that better?
Yeah, it sounds better.
Hey, ABC Bunny, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it.
I'm gonna on my end quickly just bump both of you guys so that you're louder compared to the gameplay. Just excuse me, just a second.
That's why I thought we'd start, because like as soon as we get into the game, it completely changes the audio, right? We add like a whole new set into the audio in. So
all right.
Should be better.
And then same thing for the driving takedown here. Of course, the driving takedown is kind of funny because I think it's like in order to do enough, you just have to have the siren on and do handbrake turns, and like I think like don't hit all 3 pedestrians, and then you can ignore everything else. Which is really, in the scheme of things, because of taxis, I think I was saying this before we got started, there's really only 3 mandatory drives in the run. So this is like, I guess this is the 4th one, the tutorial drive. I forgot about this one.
And thank God that the tutorial is so lenient, because I was struggling with the PC controls when I played this for the first time. Like I would have failed if this was even remotely difficult.
Yeah, that was on purpose. I realized very early on juggling all these mechanics at once was too much.
It's a lot right at the start. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now we get to do a few fun things here. So we're gonna go downstairs, and there's a tutorial sequence where it's gonna be like, oh, this is how you change your clothes, and you get a car from the garage, and of course, we're not gonna do any of that because we're just gonna clip right out here, and then we need to jump in at a particular point, which will then activate the sequence where we go outside. Classic. Find the trigger. Just, where is it? It's somewhere.
From out of bounds. Yeah.
Oh, you know what is? This is a classic of like GTA. Like I imagine most of the I say GTA style games, like open world games that have traffic or whatever, of this era. They all usually work in such a way that if you aren't looking in a particular direction, the game's not going to spawn cars there, and so New York City, being a grid of straight roads, is very, very welcoming to turning the camera the other way, and then we just drive without ever hitting traffic.
Speaking of,
you guys found that.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, You found that was to save frame rate because the more cars you have on screen, the more poly count, and it would start to slow it down. So we're immediately dumping anything that the camera's not looking at.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That also comes up too, like when I'm trying to like spawn in a taxi, I'm constantly looking up and down roads. You're like, all right, taxi, nope, look again. Taxi, nope, look again.
This is a story I always tell. It's specifically regarding Streets of LA, but obviously New York City might have the same thing. But I don't know if either of you guys knew this, but there's a guy who made a video on YouTube about how he got the world record in True Crime Streets of LA because of the fact that True Crime Streets of LA, the map was completely what's it called, like fully accurate to actual real world LA. He took all of the speedrun drives and put them into Google Maps, and because Google Maps told him the shortest route, he was able to save minutes in the speedrun just by Google Maps telling him the fastest way to go. And that's like one of the coolest like strategies I've ever heard of to actually save time in a speedrun.
That's
hilarious.
amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we pulled data from it was a company before Google Maps bought them, but became Google Maps. We pulled all the data off of that to make the splines for the roads. So this is 100% accurate in roads, lengths, street names, down to scale. So this is New York, and that was LA using that kind of data.
I have a buddy who lives in New York who would remark all the time when I was doing that tutorial, the street policing tutorial, that he worked at that corner. So every time he played the game, he's like, "Yeah, oh yeah, I know that corner, 37th, and whatever, been there all the time." Yeah, and also Eben, I didn't know that Colin was the runner. Colin.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And I remember when he did that. It was funny.
Such a cool. It's one of my favorite videos on YouTube. It's so cool, so interesting.
That's great. He used our own tech against us.
All right, now it's time for a really interesting piece of tech, which is the what I call city crime skip. So yeah, I'm saving the game, I'm loading the game, I'm gonna exit the building. Normally at this time, if you're playing this game casually, you would have to solve at least one city crime in order to get the first story mission prompt. However, I'm going to load the game again and then exit the precinct again. And doing this skips having to do a city crime. You will immediately have the story prompt. That works on PS2. So I imagine that's just a product of like how saving works in the game.
Yeah, and I don't know why though, but that's a good assumption for sure.
My sort of like, I didn't do anything to do with this game, but like, I'm familiar with game development. Guess would be like maybe it sets a flag, and when you load the game, it doesn't unset it properly. So like, you go outside, it's like triggered the crime, and then you load the save, it cleans up the crime, which then like might count as completed or something. I don't know, and then load the save doesn't get set properly. I don't know.
That's a really good guess. I think you're right, or we just didn't have the save state to like exactly save at what point you are in the crime. So once you trigger it, if you come back, it just says, I'm going to resolve it.
Yeah.
I will mention that is the one piece of tech that does not work on a console version, and that's because it doesn't work on GameCube, because GameCube saving is like, as a platform, that console is messed up, and it does
they have like a whole custom thing for it, don't they, with GameCube?
Yeah.
What were we thinking putting this game on GameCube?
I don't know if you keep up with emulation news, but there's a great report from the Dolphin devs that just says, please do not play this game on GameCube. It's a really interesting write-up, just because they figured out what the porting studio did, in order to get the game to run. And, it was some funny stuff, some divide by zero type behavior.
I've heard a lot of horror stories of developers for GameCube back in the day. Like, everybody wanted their games on the GameCube, but then, it's all well and good you telling people to do it, but they're not the people who actually have to do the work, and all the people just like roll their eyes like, oh, for God's sake,
Yeah, it's I mean, we kind of learned this lesson when we were making Vigilante 8 and put it on N64. You got to strip down everything, rebuild all the assets, do all the textures, and I think there was a tremendous amount of work extra behind putting this on GameCube for us, or at least the external contractor that we got. So I am surprised it turned out as well as it did. But then again, don't shove 10 pounds of crap into a 5-pound bag, is the old saying.
Good saying. I like it.
All right, we're doing. So I just shot this guy before he could get away, so I didn't actually have to chase him on a motorcycle. And now we're. This is
Nice.
like the primary benefit of turning on off voice lines, which is that we don't have to listen to voice lines when we do the interrogation minigame. So that makes this all way quicker.
Yeah, you don't realize
No-
how long those dialogues back and forth are until you don't have to listen to them. Then you go back to it and like,
Mhm.
God, they take forever.
Yeah, I think I shot it. I saw Mr. Casey Frew in my chat. I believe he was the one who found the audio lines thing,
Yeah.
and immediately it saved like 10 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, I was gonna ask, did you find all these exploits on your own, or it's a just
So
around the
there's a
community?
honestly, I am just like the run monkey of this game. I just played it more. I I don't. There is like one thing I found, and it's a backup strat, and I'll point it out later when we get to it. But most of the tech in this game, I think, was found by a runner named EF. And then like other people helped too. As I mentioned, Easy Frew, who's in chat, did some work. But like a lot of these out of bounds like tricks were found. Like here, you can tell I sequence broke this level because I went out of bounds, so that metal door never gets closed. The big blast door. Oh yeah,
Mm,
Spiller and Plastic Rainbow found stuff too. That's the Plastic Rainbow. Um, yeah.
good job, guys. This
That's
is
a that's a fun one too. It's like I'll be honest. I really have only speedrun this game. I've never really played it casually. So a lot of the things I'm like, I wonder how that works. Were you to play this game in a normal manner, which I should do honestly.
Yeah, I started playing it, and I think maybe a couple of weeks ago for the first time, and I hadn't touched this game in like 20 something years or however long it's been since I worked on this. And I forgot everything about it, and it definitely has some rough spots in it for sure.
I felt so vindicated because I played through the game and I've always struggled with this game casually. Like this game is like so hard, but a lot of the time you're like fighting against the game, especially on PC, right?
Hmm.
And so then watching David go through it, you know, he made this and he's struggling. So I'm like, thank God it's not just me, you know. Like I felt so vindicated watching him play the game. Whenever he messed up, I was like, see, it's easy to mess up there, you know. This game's hard.
Yeah, it is. And we bit off more than we can chew with this project. Like this thing was at least 10 times bigger than, workload wise than Streets of LA for sure.
I think this first part of this temple level is supposed to be like a stealth section, but I have never. This is another example. I mean, thank God the regular pistol has infinite ammo. That way we can just continue shooting, and we maintain this faster walking pace when you're shooting. So we're able to just kind of glide by everyone.
It's so interesting that your jog with the gun is not as fast as like Mark is actually using his hands to sprint. It's
That's so funny.
interesting. Yeah. So the optimal way to move is to just shoot with your pistol, and then obviously
Yeah,
as long as you keep shooting, you stay in that sort of that sort of animation where he's like jogging with the gun.
Oh, that guy! Oh, he's got moves. Got moves. All right. Yeah, it's funny because like, and this is something that only applies indoors, right? It doesn't apply on the world map. The speed difference. And then also like if you keep auto aim held, like that's another way to move fast. But if there's anyone around, you're gonna stare at them, so it's not helpful if you're trying to go somewhere. Tasks. Okay, so we don't do tasks there. I do have a question about tasks later in the game, but that'll be for a special bit of speedrun tech that is like if I could have like one bit of like why does this work answered for me, it's going to be something to do with tasks that happens later in the run, but we'll get there. Well, as soon as a taxi shows up, this is like one of the worst taxi spots. There you go. Just running in circles, hoping a taxi spawns.
Eventually we'll load in one.
It's always a godsend when they have taxis in games because you can use them to obviously fast warp. But then in speedruns, you're always like, oh, that means I now need to get lucky and get a taxi here, otherwise I lose time.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of RNG for a speed run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would be curious to hear for like other people who've run the game. I don't know if we got anyone, but like I do feel like the randomness from taxis is like a thing that will discourage people from trying to get better times like beyond a certain point. I know my record run of this, like I was just de-rusting for some speedrun marathon. My record run has a death in it, but like despite that, you know, still ended up being the fastest run just by virtue of good taxis.
Yeah, it can make or break for sure.
Oh yeah, so okay, so this is okay, this is a thing that you're gonna hear, and I want to be clear, everyone. This is not Goodrich. I don't think we can blame Goodrich for this one. On every version of this game except the PS2 version, you're about to hear an interesting placeholder sound.
I forgot about that.
Oh no, I
So
missed it.
yeah, so
It's the Windows error sound.
So
Oh.
these on Xbox and GameCube. So that's different. You know, two different porting studios had the same issue there, where I guess they couldn't get the sound right. That doesn't happen on PS2, to be clear. Ow. That doesn't happen on PS2. But
I might have an answer for you. I wonder if that was a placeholder sound effect and they forgot to take it out.
oh yeah, that could be. That could just so whatever files you guys gave them.
Yeah,
You know,
because in development you don't have all the final sounds or music, and sometimes we'll just throw in weird music or sound effects from a library, and then use that. And it sounds like someone just forgot to plug in the new sound effect.
You know what? Speaking of this drive as well, really quick, something that I find hilarious in this game, which is like an intended mechanic that I think is brilliant. If you do, so you can take a taxi during these drives, right? Like you have like 2 minutes left. You can take a taxi, but if you warp, you fail the mission because the taxi driver didn't drive fast enough, and you actually get there too slow, and you fail. Isn't that absolutely brilliant? Why don't more games do that? That's hilarious.
Public transit is too slow, I think is what it says, right?
Exactly, yeah. Like, it actually tells you, like, oh, you know, smart thinking, but we're smarter than you. You know, you failed because he took too long. You know, you need to speed. It's brilliant.
Yeah, that's a nice touch. We definitely had some great writers on this.
Yeah.
Back when we could be a little more risque with with our games, for sure.
Brilliant.
All right, so now we're on the final mission of the Magdalena cartel. This is an interesting. We kind of do this one like butt first, so to speak, because we go to where the boat is. Like, so we go to Bounds, right, and then we go where the boat is. And I'm just gonna spend the next like 20 seconds absolutely ruining the stream audio because I'm just trying to mash shoot in order to kill the boat. And we're gonna kill the boat and then kill the guys who spawn before the boat. Which, like, thank goodness this works. It's kind of funny that it lets us do this. But yeah, so we have to go under the stage, under the audience to get the foot soldiers to spawn, and then I go under the stage. And then thankfully we're able to shoot from out of bounds, inbounds. So every time you see +3 career, I'm auto aiming, and yeah, but no once the music changes, you know I got everyone.
And thank God you can auto aim on PC as well, because imagine doing those shots blind.
Oh yeah, seriously.
All right. So an important note here: we used to do the speed run. I think we used to do it Shadow Tong, Palermo Mob, President's Club, and then at some point we decided it was faster to go Palermo Mob, Shadow Tong, President's Club. So we reversed the order of the Mob and the Shadow Tong, and the argument there I think has to do with the amount of damage a thrown dumbbell does during the gym mission. So, but I just thought you would appreciate that. Because I believe when you do certain groups later, it changes the weapons and the amount of health they have, I think, right?
Yeah, I think it's scaling, right? So, like, whichever one you do last is harder than the one you do first.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I made throwing weapons do more damage because you're basically tossing away your weapon, which is superior to hand-to-hand fighting. But apparently, it sounds like it was a bit bugged for environmentals that you could toss. So that's funny.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure in this case, yeah, the whatchamacallit, the dumbbell, like, and it just happens to be like, because if you do Shadow Tong after this, it happens to be the case that like the dumbbell does not one shot certain enemies, and like that was like our primary motivator for changing the order there.
Interesting. I mean, if you hit someone with a 45-pound dumbbell, that's pretty much gonna kill them.
I mean, yeah,
it's impressive to be able to throw it though. He throws it like it's a tennis ball. Like, it's crazy, you know, trying to get that over your head to throw it at somebody. It's impressive.
Yeah, we only had like one throw animation. We didn't make a custom for like every, you know, size or weight of object you
Yeah,
can throw. So it was pretty just standardized.
Trying to get so typically the strategy is to grab guys and then do
Into the stove.
a heavy hit combo. But now I'm just in a stun lock. I'm just gonna I might die here. Oh, this is good. Oh, all right. Yeah, so usually the fastest way to take out enemies like this is to grab them, but I got totally I got put on the road to respect. Jeez. Oh yeah, so you grab them and then you do this, and then ideally you can catch this next guy before he goes in. He gets caught on whatever. Yeah, there you go. Because he'll stop defending at that point once you get the other guy. Now, an alternative, which is fun to do sometimes, and I really like, is this one environmental kill that you can get where you can shove them in the freezer.
Oh yeah, the way they just flop is fantastic.
Is the way, yeah, it's really good if you can get it. But it's not, you can't always grab them. Wait, I can't get it. Yeah, there we go. Hey, there we go. That's a lot of fun to do.
It's good. In my first playthrough, I put this guy in the freezer by mistake, and he just flops and immediately failed the mission. I thought I'd be able to, like, pull him back out or something, but just insta kills him. Whoops.
Oh wait. All right, here we go. Now we just do good old fashioned interrogation. But yeah, it's funny for me because again, I'm not used to doing these interrogations with the voice lines. So it's just like, okay, yeah, this is what you do. You just smack and then or punch, as you do to get the information. Oh, is this supposed to, all right, confirm. It's funny. I have also done speedruns of The Sopranos: Road to Respect, which is a much worse video game than this one.
Yeah. There's tiers to bad games, right? And Sopranos: Road to Respect is brutal.
I mean, and I feel, look, the folks who worked on that probably wanted to make like an adventure game, and I think the publisher told them like, no, you have to make a beat 'em up, and yeah, it didn't. Did not work out.
It was a good time playing it though. It was enjoyable, and that's all that matters.
It's content, so to speak. All right, so the indoor part of this level is going to be pretty straightforward. We're just going to do some roll out of bounds. A thing to note there is that if you are attacking while falling out of bounds and you're able to maintain that attacking animation, it prevents fall damage from coming into play. So like, if I had fallen there and just like normally, I would have taken damage when hitting the floor. But because I was in my attack animation as I was popping out of bounds, I took no damage.
You can take a lot of fall damage in this game as well, right? Like if you fall flat on your face,
yeah.
like you fall like 3 feet and it does half your health. It's crazy.
There's a part later in the game where we have to do it, or otherwise we die. Like in order to do the speedrun route.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you can only take fall damage when it's playing the fall animation.
Yeah, it must be something like that. Yeah. And in this case, like the animations get overwritten, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Ideally, here we pit maneuver this guy, but okay, all right. Well, driving's happening.
The pit maneuvers are brilliant. If I remember in this game, like you pit maneuver him and he like spins out like a 720 spin.
Spins out like real hard. Where'd he go? Oh, there he goes. This has gone way off the rails at this point. Ideally, you would have pit maneuvered him and then. Okay, there we go. Shot him in the knee. That's good. Good. That always gets a laugh when I have to explain that to an audience, where it's like, yeah, you shoot him in the knee for good cop points.
Yeah.
Audience darkly responds to that comment.
But neutralizing shots is actually a really cool mechanic. Same in Streets of LA. Like actually.
The precision aiming stuff is cool.
Yeah. It's really hard to do on controller though. Like on PC, it's fine, but on controller, it's painful.
Really, even with the snap 2 points, it's still hard to do.
Maybe I'm just complaining because I'm a PC guy and I'm terrible with controller. Maybe it's a me issue.
I would say relatively, it is more difficult. Yeah. Oh, here's the gym. Yeah, go ahead.
We stuck a lot of mechanics in this, like the pit maneuver. A lot of people don't know you can shoot the back of the car with the gas can and just instantly blow up the car. And there's also a switchblade maneuver you can do while driving, where if you're driving, you can flip the car around to go basically face backwards and still keep your momentum going forward so you can shoot people behind you. But a little too complex. All right. Oh, this is one of my levels, actually.
Yeah, so you can see there, those blue dumbbells just do a tremendous amount of damage.
Yeah, you just like truly bounce off them and just brain them immediately.
One shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't do this at the gym. Oh, I love it when the dumbbell bounces off the guy and then ends up lodged in the overhead track. Oh, that's so good.
I'm trying to see if there's different colored dumbbells up here.
Oh, they went away. That's weird. All right. What's incredible too is some folks who only watched this game might have never seen this fail. If you fail to pursue her, she jumps out that window and like that fails the mission. It's an incredible animation. I almost wish I could like show it off intentionally or something, but it's really good.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, if you go up to the track and then just let her run away, eventually she will escape and she'll just dive out that window. And I guess that that works.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than getting arrested, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Look, it's 8 million stories in New York City.
No.
Yeah, and she's strong enough to take it. She's
Yeah.
been working out.
Yeah,
Work
yeah,
out.
yeah.
What's the point? Yeah. All right. So now we have another. This is another a bread and butter kind of go out of bounds and do stuff. Although we do have to deal with there being an elevator in this. So we clip out of bounds, go straight to the elevator, which we're thankfully able to jump up into, and then take it down, and then without even leaving the elevator, go right back out. But we do need to, in order to keep the sequence going, in order to end the stage, I do have to walk in there so I can spawn this guy. That guy has to spawn in order for the sequence to work. And then you just use the auto aim to kill the guy. I think we have to kill 3 guys in this room, or 4. It's 4. And then once you get 4, Tony is right here, which has got to be terrifying for him.
Just comes through the wall and interrogates him.
Yeah.
You can't get through the walls walking at normal speed. It has to be the fast run, right?
That's right. That's right.
It makes perfect sense. Yeah.
All right, now we're almost ready for the final mission of. It's funny, like looking at how long some of these missions take. Obviously, being able to clip out of bounds and go straight to the exit makes some of them real short. But when we're going up, that's harder to skip around, and so Vertigo ends up being one of the longest missions in the game. Although we still have a few tricks up our sleeve for handling certain things.
Yeah,
Mostly just skipping enemy spawns.
Going down and sideways, more possible. Up is a lot harder, right? Like, even if you get out of bounds, how are you going to go up there? You still need the elevator and stuff, or the stairs.
Yeah. So we can skip the spawn by clipping through that wall, avoids a few spawns. And then there's another set of enemy spawns where if we walk on the one side of this wall, it's hard to get because sometimes you'll just start falling off. But ideally, if you're able to walk along this ledge and gun dive over that, then you can skip another spawn that way. I think it's this set of 3 here that we're able to avoid, which helps. Every little bit helps when you're trying to not get, because as you guys said earlier, the speedrun I think can make this look a little easy, but like these guys will kill you if you give them the opportunity.
Oh, this mission is so hard. Like, minimum 5 deaths every single playthrough here. Like, this is really hard. It's like a massive gauntlet of enemies, and they all have like M4s or M16s or whatever these things are.
Really, really devastating weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we always try to put like explosive barrels in these situations, but I think pretty hard to hit some of the times.
That third guy doesn't always get out of the elevator, so congratulations to him for actually. Sometimes you can hear the elevator despawn and the guy falls to his death, which is really, really fun. But yeah, now we're on a little auto scroller here, just going up.
Check out the beautiful scenery.
Now we are able to lock on through the floor. We also kill a few guys by shooting out boards, which is fun. I like doing that.
Yeah, environmentals has always been a huge thing that we had left for most of the game we did.
I'm struggling on your mic again, David. Can you...
Can you hear me?
Whatever you did before, do it again.
That was better. When you just said now, can you hear me? It was better.
Yeah,
Oh.
thank you.
Yeah, my mouth has to be right in the mic. Let me see if I can move it closer.
Thank you.
But yes, environmentals have always been like a big thing for all Lux of Flux games.
I think this is a cool set piece as well. Like, slowly going up and fighting your way up to the final boss as well. I didn't say it before, but the first final boss, with like the wooden boat and the stage bits come in and they use it as cover. I think that's like a really cool idea as well. Like a boss fight where you fight people and you have to like destroy the cover that comes through the stage. Even though it like kind of doesn't make any sense because it's like wood, but who cares? You can suspend your disbelief for the sake of video games, right? It's video game logic.
Very true, yeah. My
This is
senators game
definitely.
now.
Yeah, this is a killer
Yeah.
mission for speedrun. So if at any point if you die, if you just fall through things or whatever, then you have to redo the whole thing. And this is probably pound for pound the longest mission in the game.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Oh, I meant the crouching was lurking. All right. Speaking of that, oh, there you go.
I love all this as well. Just like a pistol, just put like 30 bullets into a crane and boom. Pistol is like so good in this.
There we go. Easy peasy. All right. So now this is the most important choice in the game. You always want to do President's Club last, so we do Shadow Tongue next. Oh yeah, a taxi.
How many times have you played this game?
Oh, that's a dangerous question. I mean, I would say this is probably like my second. I've probably done like 200 to 300 runs probably total. Like completed runs. I don't know. I mean, it's been a while. Like because I really haven't played this much since I did it at SGDQ 2023. And then that is, that's yeah. So really, this is I think the first time I've been picking it up. We're trying to get out of bounds here. Ideally, this guy I might restart this mission a few times because there's a fast way to do it, but it's kind of yeah. Also, speaking of things that are really nice, you can go into status case select and then restart the mission you're currently doing. That just like that is really easy. Nice, I love it. There we go. Okay, so common game thing of the era. Guys that you'll need are just spawned out of bounds. And so we know where the guy who ends the mission is.
Yeah,
so
AI not activated, the classic.
And activate the end. There's like 3 waves of guys. We used to do more of this mission before someone found that a way to get out of bounds. I think it was Skiller who found that. And this takes us straight into the first auto scroller.
I think this is where, so whenever I think of this mission now, I think this is where David came into my stream and I was legit stuck on this for 2 hours straight. Not even joking. And do you want to know why? The funniest part was, it's like these auto-scrollers are already incredibly hard anyway, but I was playing with the new widescreen fix because it fixes the mouse sensitivity issues, and it fixes the game running at like hyperspeed on PC as well. But it also like massively breaks these auto-scrollers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like it doesn't have like the lock on anymore because of like the mouse smoothing. So you have to manually aim, but it's really hard to shoot the bikers and stuff. Like basically impossible to shoot the bikers and whatnot. And obviously, if you can't kill the bikers quickly, the cars just smoke you afterwards. So yeah, I tried it for like 2 hours, couldn't do it, and I took out the widescreen fix and did it like third try.
Yeah, no, you can definitely tell there's a lot of things going on to like make this auto scroller possible. The thing I always kind of fixate on is like cross traffic, like the way sometimes you'll see cross traffic like come forward and bounce back.
Yeah.
You look at the side streets. I'm sure to make this auto scroller work in this open world, I'm sure there's some stuff going on under the hood.
I feel like a lot of people have the like. When you ever played these games as a kid, it's always like there's so many missions that are like, oh, this mission was like impossible as a kid. I could never do this. And I think with True Crime New York City, it's always the auto scrollers. It's 2 of them, and they're brutal.
That's how you're playing it. Someone, why aren't you shooting the gas can? The gas tank on the side, it wiped out instantly and not played it.
Oh, we're losing your mic again, David.
Yeah, we're losing your mic again.
Really?
Sorry, the game's especially loud right now because I'm spamming machine guns.
Yeah, it doesn't help that the machine gun's overpowering you.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this a little better?
Yeah,
it sounds
better.
good now. Yeah.
Oh, I gotta have it right in front of me. Okay. Yeah, when I saw Ben playing this, I was just like, why don't you shoot the gas tank on the side and you insta-kill the cars? And he's like, what are you talking about? It's not working. So I played it like 2 weeks ago and realized it's only on the back shot of the car.
Yeah, it doesn't work, sadly. Yeah,
you have to shoot the license plate, right?
Yeah, license plate on the back and it kills them, but obviously you can't do it when you're facing them like this. This would be so much more bearable if you could just manually aim down all the gas tanks. It'd be so good.
Yeah, or blow out the tires in the front.
Yeah, or anything like that. Or being able to shoot out the drivers of the cars. You know, like if you shot the windshield or something, as well.
Yeah, I know there was discussion about that at one point, and I'm surprised it didn't actually make it into the game.
Yeah. As well,
remember
like
I used to use
the gun picture has like a grenade barrel as well, and everyone was telling me like, use the grenade launcher, bro. I'm like, what grenade launcher, bro? There is no grenade launcher. Got baited by the picture.
Yeah, this wasn't these weren't my missions, so I can't speak to why that didn't make it in.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so this next mission again, if I could learn how one thing works or why it works. So this mission is one where the guy gives us a truck full of, I guess, merchandise, and we have to drive around to 3 shops and then drive back. I think the mission's called like hard sell or something.
Oh yeah, the skip
And-
here is super weird. Yeah.
Yeah, the skip here is super weird. So we're gonna drive to the first shop, and we're going to intentionally fail the mission in a very particular way. And then we're going to the game will be like, hey, you know, because it's a mechanic of the game for folks who aren't familiar, that sometimes when you fail missions in certain ways, instead of redoing the mission or replaying the mission, you're given the option of doing a task for an informant, and then you'll get the tip for your next story mission that way as an alternative, which is cool. You know, it's a different system. And normally we're not making use of that in the speedrun, but here, for whatever reason, choosing informant off of this one when you fail it in a particular way has a weird behavior. So I'm gonna intentionally fail this, right? I'm gonna just gun thread him straight onto the floor. I failed, and I go outside, and then I'm gonna blow up my truck. And that's a mission failure, and it says visit informant. If I choose visit informant, it auto starts the next story mission. So I choose visit informant, and suddenly I'm here, and I'm in the next story mission. So that is, I don't know why that works, but
I think it goes back to your original starting a mission and then saving out and coming back in. It can't save this mission halfway through, so it just you started it, okay, it's finished, because it can't save at a very particular point within the game itself.
Yeah, it has to be something like that. Oh, hello, Marcus.
Yeah. So another thing, also, when you get out of bounds on this next mission, speaking of things that are out of bounds,
Like you could frisk him.
we're out of bounds. You can also plant evidence and then arrest yourself. Which is, you know, there you go.
Good cop points.
What?
Oh, Fru, did you find out the hard sell skip? I thought I was gonna say it was either you or Skiller that found it. I couldn't remember who.
Did we leave
I
a
know both
test
of you were
dummy?
working on it.
Yeah, why is Marcus there? Like, is it like cinematic Marcus versus in-game Marcus? Maybe, I don't know. Like, it's all
know.
motion captured, right? So it's not like in-game cutscenes.
No, it looks like someone left another spawn point for him outside the level when they were testing it and never took it out.
Yeah, that would make more sense. That's funny.
But yeah, so that mission has a few interesting things, like the way we skipped the part of the previous mission, and then, you know, obviously I also did the damage skip there I talked about before, where I was attacking as I was falling out of bounds, and that enabled me to avoid damage. So that's, you know, some fun stuff going on there.
My God, the stuff you guys have found is impressive.
In my opinion, it's the coolest thing about speedrunning. It's the community coming together to just completely like tear apart a game. It's so cool. I think it's so interesting.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah,
I don't know, it's a fun variety of stuff too. Like that's, you know, there's a thing that you kind of want from you're searching for all these things and finding stuff and testing it, and you know, it's just it's a good time.
Yeah.
This is probably, I think, for people learning the game, Human Cargo is probably like the least favorite mission.
Oh,
I always say that.
God,
Is
this
it
mission's
true?
horrible.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
been
this
playing
mission's
this for a
horrible. It's just so long. It's so long. That's the thing. It's the same thing. If you mess it up, you have to do the whole thing again, and it's so incredibly long, and it's so hard, and there's so many enemies.
All right, let them catch up with me. I'm trying to. Yeah, all right, there we go. I still got it. We can just jump around that first door. All right, that guy's trying to hit me, but I'm not gonna let him. So there's a guy we're chasing here. For folks who are not familiar with this mission, this guy is supposed to stay in front of us, but you know, we're fast. We can kind of do whatever, and we know where he's going, so we're staying ahead of him. And this is a few interesting applications. There are these ladders that he's going to pull up behind him, but we need to be very careful about our timing. Okay, so I did that one right, and now I'm going to do the second one right. Oh no, I soft locked. All right.
Yeah, you can soft lock this very. If this guy gets stuck, you're done. Like you
Yeah.
need him to make it to the end.
So I'll have to go ahead. And speaking of reselling the mission, or restarting the mission, there you go. So we'll see if I can get. I mean, there is a backup. So there's kind of 3 results there. It's just like one is that you just don't get up there and he gets up there, kind of the intended outcome. There's the result where you do get up there, and then there's the result where you've soft locked. And of course, I got the one where you have to restart. So I didn't actually. Man, all right.
These guys are so annoying with the hammers or mallets or whatever.
No, okay, all right. That won't let me. Oh.
I think I designed this level, but I didn't design the mission. That's interesting.
Okay. Because there is kind of another thing. If I had to find like like stuff to find in the speedrun that would make things better. So like with a lot of these guys that you're interrogating, you have to like do something to put them like to enable them to be interrogated. Like they're not going to give up until you do X, Y, or Z. Like sometimes that's just beating them up. And then sometimes that is, oh, he is coming. I'm gonna just go. All right. Well, let's see here. Oh, I did it again. All right. Well,
You're breaking
so-
his rubber banding.
I know. It's very upsetting.
I mean, this is quite good, to be honest. You're going a bit too fast anyway, so...
I know. Things were going too well.
Yeah, exactly. Slow down. Yeah.
Slow down. Calm down.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if there's any other details that you wanted to fill in, or now I'm redoing this because I keep failing this one skip. Now's the time.
David, save this man.
I don't know how to save him in this mission. Sorry, it's been forever since I worked on this project. I remember setting up a lot of the combat scenarios in this, and then outfitting all the. I think doing the level design of this area, which is fairly simple. But yeah, we got level designers and story designers, so we get a story of what they wanted to do, and then we can pull up around that.
Oh, David, we're losing your mic again. Sorry, just repeat that last sentence for me.
I think my mic is jacked up somehow. Does this sound better?
I think it
now
might
it
be
sounds better.
Discord, because they said it sounds fine on your stream. So I think it might be like the Discord voice detection maybe is more strict than it is on your OBS. It might be worth like trying to lower it on Discord on your end. Like there's there's like the manual voice activation and also like a noise gate as well. Maybe just try like, I don't know, turning those off and see how that works.
Yeah, let me look at those real quick.
Yeah, no problem.
While we're doing this.
PMC, talk about the boss fight in the meantime.
There you go.
Oh, the Tommy thing?
Yeah, the Xbox thing.
Yeah. So a lot of people, when they talk about this game, they mention that like the Xbox version is impossible because of the Tommy wrestling minigame. There's a encounter at the end of this where you have to wrestle a guy on top of a suspended cargo crate. And initially you're mashing either light punch or heavy punch in order to advance that minigame, right? And then once you've pushed him to the edge, you then hit the shove or grab button to end that minigame. And and then you got to be kidding me! Oh no! All right, you know what? I'm just gonna do backup strats. Gentlemen, you go ahead. All right. Anyways, blah blah blah. I failed. He got away from me. So if that happens, what we do is we clip through that wall, and then we kind of continue the mission as normal from here. I'm gonna finish that bit about the wrestling minigame when I get to it.
Yeah, hold that thought.
Thanks for the follow there, Storm. Can you guys hear me better?
Yes.
Yeah, you sound good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think you guys are right. Play with some settings in Discord.
It's always how it is. Like Discord is really strict with like the auto voice activation stuff by default. Like I have to mess around with it all the time. It seems to like every time I update Discord, it seems to break it. You know, it's super annoying. It's
same with OBS. Every time I have to do an update on that, I have to rebuild all the mics in it.
Yeah, Windows Update messes up my stuff as well on OBS all the time. Like it messes up everything to do with audio. It's tragic.
Oh, here's a fun thing I can show off. Normally, I wouldn't do this because there'd only be 2 guys there. But since I have all these guys here, they just don't want to come into this room. They don't like this room. It scares them. So I can just hang out here while waiting for that crate to move over.
Oh, interesting. Like a no combat zone in here for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess it's like a
about this
respite
room.
for the player. Like maybe. Who knows if it's intentional?
Yeah. Someone forgot to they forgot to extend the pathing into this room, so they don't know what to do.
Oh, okay, yeah, so they
don't know
can't
how
path.
they can't navigate in. They don't know how. That's
all right. So
funny.
anyway, Tommy wrestling mini game. This guy's gonna show up. He's gonna wrestle. You hit light punch or heavy punch in order to move him. Now on the Xbox version of the game, people will tell you that the final input, the input to push him, is impossible. That is not literally true. That is arguably true. However, what you can do is you can continue hitting the push buttons. I forget what buttons it is on Xbox, but you can continue mashing the push button while you're trying to meet the input for the throw. And you will eventually get it that way. You will just by eventually hit the impossibly small window. Oh no, he was. Can't believe I did that. You know what? We're just gonna
After all that.
Oh,
so
no.
there's an issue in the game, and this has happened a few times while I've been trying to punch combo people, which is that if you grab someone and they are too close to a wall, instead of getting whatever it is you actually want, like whether that's heavy punching them or doing the interrogation, instead of getting those inputs, you will get the like hit them against the wall thing. But the thing is, you might be too far away from the wall for them to actually hit the wall, and so it just kind of whiffs.
No, that's
just
funny.
yeah. So that's what happened there, and then I failed it because I wasn't managing the interrogation encounter. But maybe this time I'll get the double ladder skip correct. Maybe. I'm wishful thinking.
It's just this mission living up to its reputation. You know, it's horrible.
Yeah, I know.
And it's
I
showing how
kinda jinxed
horrible it is.
myself
Yeah.
by being like, oh, this mission isn't hard, and you know, wise guy.
Is it the speedrun route is ludicrously hard, but for entirely different reasons that the casual mission is ludicrously hard.
Never mind, I am the best. Put me in, coach. Okay. So here's the thing I was talking about. My speedrun wish list. The guy is here. We're here. This is the exit. We can't end the mission though because I can't interrogate him.
Yeah.
So we have to go back and do like that last part of the mission again in order to actually get the sequence going. So you know, I would love to find. It'd be really fun. Actually, you know, I wonder if I could. Where does that crate come from? It would be funny if I could like get that crate, and then oh, don't hit me off. Don't hit. Oh, okay. All right. It would be really funny if I could like get on that. I wonder if I've ever tried that. I wonder if anyone's ever tried to get on that crate sooner. I imagine it probably doesn't activate, but like if you could just get on it at some point, I might have to look into that. That's a fun idea. Anyway, but yeah. Also, you can hit the button again, and it makes the crate come over faster.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
we had a lot of good ideas. They're very half-baked, though.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I mean, that's the fun though, is that like the game does, you know, it is ambitious, and so you like if you're looking, you can often find things. A lot of people, because I tend to speedrun a lot of like obscure games and games that people might call bad. People are like, you know, like what makes something like a good speedrun? And like my answer is always the same. It's features. If the game has features, chances are you can exploit them. Games that don't have features can't be exploited, and that's boring.
Very true. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Boy, do I have some games for you to speedrun then.
Look, the perfectly secure system has no features, all right? That's why I can't exploit it, so. Here, we don't spawn next to the road. And so we have to either drive back to the road to get a taxi, or we can also do a save and load to get back. Here,
yeah, save and loading takes you back to the precinct, right? And then you can just step out and you're right in the middle of like Times Square.
Walk out the front and then, you know, presumably find a taxi. I think it's like one of the situations where like there's like a difference in terms of, you know, time without loads versus real time.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite discussion.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, so that was Human Cargo. It really lived up to its reputation. But hey, I got to show off a bunch of things. So I want to say just preemptively, no, I did not put the textures in, Fruit. You're safe. You're fine. As a bit, I once had someone replace all the graffiti textures with pictures of Easy Fruit's face at an event. No, I actually, I'm not even sure if I remember where that texture pack is. But that was a good time.
PMC, do you
Yeah.
softlock this mission very often when you play through it?
No, how would you soft lock this mission?
So-
Actually, no, wait. Yeah, I know how. He dies, right? Is that what it is?
No. So in this segment, I had it, I think like 3 times in a row when I played this casually last time. I didn't know if it was widescreen fix that maybe caused it as well, because it already messed up the auto scrollers. But on the bit where you're chasing the guy through and then you start and hit the zip line, like just up here, he just like stands there and just like doesn't go on the zip line at all, and you just get stuck. And it happened to me every single time. So I assumed it was a widescreen fix thing, because I'm pretty sure I've never seen you have it or any other, you know, playing without mods. I'm pretty sure I've never seen it
Yeah,
before.
there's ways for this. Like, very rarely he can simply die, and that will soft lock. But I think that usually fails the mission as opposed to soft locking.
Yeah, he just stands still and you can't do anything with him, which is annoying. So widescreen fix is good. If you do play this game, widescreen fix is good, but be ready to turn it off if things break, because it can definitely break missions, for sure.
Wow, you even climb ladders at that increased speed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the whole game is just like 1.5x speed. Like everything is so fast on PC.
Yeah, especially to really maximize it, you want to shoot right before you get on the ladder, and that'll really help. A thing I've been doing, but I haven't talked about, is punch loops, which is you can just loop the first hit of the heavy punch combo, and that is absolutely the best way to deal damage, because you can just not let them out of the combo until you run out of stamina.
Unlock them. Yeah, because when you end like your regular punch combo, you'll like knock them back, but on bosses it doesn't work, right? Like you can't knock down bosses, so you end up just ending your combo instead of keeping it going over and over again.
Is that for just the basic fighting style, or is that for all of them?
For the basic fighting style, I must be completely frank with you. I have never used another fighting style.
The basic combat style is so good, you don't need anything else.
Oh, I should have overtimed her on that.
We
We had Ray Parks, Darth Maul do all the mocap for our fighting styles. No one uses them.
That is cool.
Yeah, I've seen the hints, you know, on load screens about dojos. And the funny thing is, I've done a 100% speed run, but since the you know, the 100% doesn't count the dojos, you know, I still haven't done it. Like I have done a 100% speed run by like the in-game 100%, so to speak. But but it still doesn't, you know, require doing the dojos. So I still even in that, I didn't do it.
Oh, people are still saying my audio is low.
I've turned you up, don't worry.
Okay.
It's just because I think before people were used to your audio of you putting the thing closest to your mouth, but then now you sound fine because of the Discord gate, but you're obviously quieter because the mic isn't as close. So I put it back, so it should be good now.
One funny thing that can happen here, it hasn't happened, but sometimes there will be a large mass of vibrating boxes at the top of this third ramp. It happens pretty rarely to me playing PC version. It happens more often playing other versions of the game. So I don't know what causes it, and I don't know, you know, again, by the QA folks or anything. It makes it very difficult to get up there, but not impossible. So, but it's kind of a...
boxes. I'd have to see them.
Yeah, I'm trying. I don't know if any of my viewers know of a clip that has it, because that's the only way. It would be hard for me to reproduce live.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that either, but obviously very, very small testing pool. I've only played this game like 3 times, so not nearly as many as you.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we don't have enough stamina to get this guy's health bar completely. So we have to be able to start a second combo. But once we do that, then we're able to take care of him. Here we go. All right, and then off to the final crime family.
You're not going to throw him from the train?
What's funny it's pretty common to actually get hit by the trains, and the train doesn't kill you automatically. No. You just kind of phase through it.
A dumbbell will, but a train won't.
Yeah, no, dumbbells definitely a bit harder.
Lethal, sure. Yeah. Well, you get cut by a car at 10 miles an hour and it does like 3/4 of your health, but train at 70 miles an hour, all good. Just tank it.
Yeah, it definitely this game needed another 3 months to cook, unfortunately.
Oh, there we go. If you can see it, Goodrich, Casey Frew just found an example of it and posted it, the Twitch clip there. So I guess for you too, Ben, if you want to know what it looks like.
I'll check it after the run's done, because like my capture is like so hacky right now. I don't want to break it.
Sure.
But after the run, we'll look at some various stuff. I'm sure I can show some you know, behind the scenes bits and stuff as well.
Now with this, there's not much special going on here. We're pretty much just pathing straight to the end. This is more of an ammo management kind of mission anyway. Because ideally we want to take care of this guy. We want this guy's gun so that we can take care of this next room pretty quickly. Oh, he had a 45. Usually he has a deagle. I much prefer that. Am I playing GameCube version of that skip? Okay, I think I've had it happen to me on PC, but yeah, I think it happens more often on GameCube, but you know, it is what it is. I am not, yeah, Galaxy, that is correct. We're taking advantage of the shared chat through Twitch now, because I didn't want to complicate things, you know.
It's actually pretty good. We were saying when we were setting it up, like, wow, this feature actually isn't horrible.
It actually works. I would do, if I were racing if I did a speedrun race with somebody, I would actually use it.
Yeah, it was actually quite easy to set up, and it just worked. Like, which is so rare with Twitch nowadays. Like, so many asterisks next to setting up stuff, but it just click of the button and it works. So cool.
But yeah, that mission was really straightforward. You just go to the end and neutralize that guy and head out. And the next mission is going to be kind of a similar thing with an out of bounds as well. These first two ones are very, very straightforward. This is another taxi problem. Oh, there we go. We got one.
You know, if Activision saw this, they'd have a heart attack back in the day. They always wanted to put like 150 hours of gameplay on there, and here you are, 2 hours of gameplay.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I don't know if you've ever seen this, David, but IGN runs a series called Devs React to Speedruns. And they'll have, like, you know, like the lead game designer of Skyrim, and the guy beats it in 30 minutes. And depending on who you get, it's always one of two things. One of them is like, oh, this is so cool. Like, I can't believe you can do this. This is awesome. And then there's one that's like, I worked on this for hours, and you just skip right past it. I'm so offended. You didn't even look at the things that I made. You know, they're like shocked and appalled by the speedrun. There's like nobody in between. It's hilarious.
That is funny. That's a poor game dev who gets upset about that kind of stuff. You should always embrace emergent gameplay.
Yeah. A lot of it is like tongue-in-cheek, but it's funny to see the difference between, like, you know, I spent months on this and you walk past it in 30 seconds kind of deal. It's funny.
All right, we are on here to the next auto scroller, the homicide chat scroller. This is always kind of like, for whatever reason, my chat always really loves this song. I actually have the song on my soundboard to like play whenever I want to. Sometimes I'll just be playing some random game, and like something's happened, and I just start homicide chat on my stream.
Do you know how they picked the soundtrack for this, David, or was it just like, you know, something that was completely outside of your jurisdiction?
It was a little bit of column A and column B here, where Activision was trying to kind of get a music, I want to say studio or agency, kind of up and going for all their products, mostly games. So they were getting deals with external publishers and artists. So they approached us with this huge library and basically said, pick the ones you want. And then, but they also got to put some in the you know, of their own, because they were getting Redman to work on this, and then gosh, there's a couple other ones, Ramones and things like that, that they specifically wanted into this game.
Yeah, because the soundtrack is really good in this game. Really, same with the Shoots Ballet as well. It's really, really good.
Yeah, it cost us a fortune.
I can imagine. Yeah, getting like Biggie Smalls and stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, here's a fun bug. If you destroy a vehicle and the explosion from the vehicle interacts with the driver, it kills the driver without destroying the vehicle, and you end up with these ghost motorcycles that follow you around.
Oh, nice.
Okay, that's a bug that should have been caught.
And that does work in all versions. To be clear, again, yeah, as I said, this happens everywhere.
That's funny.
And when I was doing this speedrun in 2023 on stage, I had a buddy who was a New York local, helping do like just joke commentary on stage. And when I did that, he jokingly said "Elon's America," which is probably the statement of all time. always reflective on, like, had to say it, huh? But open your mouth.
Yeah, I know whose mission this is. This one's a little frustrating from what I remember.
Did you see as well? I think I remember you hearing on the stream that you can walk around and there are the developers, like their faces are on the random like NPC characters.
Yeah. We basically scanned everybody's faces in and used them as textures on the faces, and then you can see various billboards around the city that have the developers on it, hawking things or looking like celebrities.
Yeah, that's cool. You can like go around and you can pinpoint like, oh, this person was the art director, this person was the level designer and stuff like that.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Some of them even voiced some of the random NPC lines in here.
Yeah.
I think I'm actually the cop that gets you the cars. That's my face scan, and then possibly VO there too, if I remember right.
That's cool.
Reason to do this.
A fun thing about, I shouldn't say this is fun. This is saying it's fun sounds mean, but the auto scroller is like just longer than the song. So when you get to this point right before you start shooting the final boss, the song just reboots as you get here. Just kind of fades out and it's like boom, and then it just comes right back in.
Needed to play it at 0.95 times speed to make it match perfectly.
I'm sure I'm sure ideally it was meant to play over the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know? Ideally, the intention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Play.
I mean, actually, I don't think it was. I think the mission was just built to the way the designer wanted it, and then they just picked a track and then slapped it over it.
Ah, okay.
Maybe it was just close enough,
Close
Yeah,
enough. Yeah.
close enough. Yeah.
Or they just weren't thinking about the sound design like you guys are, which I don't know. Maybe you guys got a future in game design.
Yeah.
Though these days, I'm not sure that would be a good thing.
Yeah. No, I solidarity with all the folks out there for sure.
Yeah, it's not a great time. Night School, which I knew a bunch of people over there. Some of them are like my creative directors on at Disney. Where's My Water? They just shut down that studio at Netflix, which is very unfortunate.
Mm.
It's so sad because it seems like you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? Like, it's one thing if you release a game and the game bombs and does it well, fair enough that the studio might have to start shutting stuff down. But there's been like great examples like Tango Gameworks, who released Hi-Fi Rush. The game like shadow dropped out of nowhere. It was a massive success, like critical and commercial success. And then they shut down the studio anyway, or tried to before somebody else bought them out. Like, even if you do a stand-up job and you do your job perfectly, and the game sells blockbusters, or game busters or whatever, you can still lose your job. Like, it's crazy out there.
Yeah.
All right.
Super
so
sad.
a fun thing about this mission, I'm going to try to do this a few times. So at the beginning of this mission, there is an opportunity to do a mega jump that saves time. Mega jump is a behavior in this game where sometimes when you're clipping out of bounds and you're like you're pinching yourself between objects in the environment, sometimes you just get launched. You just get shot across the map. And here, if I do it here, I'm going to try it a few times. If I'm able to do it, then I'll get shot over to where I'm trying to go. But the thing is, the behavior is, it's not consistent. It's not even slightly consistent. Unless I'm doing this run on twitch.tv/gamesdonequick, in which case it's automatic for some goddamn reason. But,
I mean, that's good, right? Usually it's, it's the
good.
opposite, right? It doesn't work in
it was
front of a
very
big
hype
crowd.
when I did it on stage, but
Yeah.
let me just, maybe?
That's wild.
So if this fails a few more times, then I'll just do the backup strat. The backup strat for this is the thing I found. But also this environmental kill is great. I love this. This is my favorite.
Yeah, just the
environmental kill.
rolling. Yeah, just crushing.
The rolling, that rules. All right.
That environmental is actually from Vigilante 8 Second Offense. In the steel mill, we use the same code from that for this.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, the environmental stuff like wrapped up really, especially, and then ended up with Sleeping Dogs. And the environment, like one of the big things about Sleeping Dogs, like the environmental kills are so good. But you can tell they took like, it was like a slow ramp up between games, because like this game has some really good ones as well, like few and far between. Like the freezer one that we talked about earlier is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna give this like 3 more tries. It's unfortunate it's not happening. It's funny. This is one of those things where it's like when I was practicing for the SGDQ run, I didn't get it once in practice, even though of course I'd done it before, and like so like one by for weeks without ever seeing it, and then it's like, oh, I'm on stage, okay, sure, whatever, it can happen. Yeah, so let's just. I mean, obviously, also if you have things to talk about, I can just keep doing this.
So what do you think's triggering this? Are you hitting an explosive back there that's launching you?
No, I don't think there's any sort of explosive. I really think it because I have once done it. Actually, if someone is able to find, there's a clip of my channel where I accidentally do a mega jump in Vertigo in the tower mission, and of course there I have nowhere to jump to. It just shoots me off the edge of the map and I die. So that's less fun. That's not useful.
Casey Fruit, go find it.
Yeah,
He's the clip hunter, dedicated clip hunter.
But I think it really is just like there's an object where you're pinching through, because usually my setup already found it. All right. So usually like I'm trying to position myself with a certain direction with the vent in like my perspective here, and that because normally the behavior is to just like pop through the wall, like the normal clipping out of bounds behavior.
Right.
And so, so yeah, the clip that was posted there was an example of mega jump on like a different map. Actually, I mean, I guess if someone can find the clip, maybe from the GDQ run where I get it. I mean, we can at least show it later.
Yeah, I'm curious what this is now.
You got me curious. Well, I've never seen this before.
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna try one more time, and then I'll just move on and do the normal thing.
It is lucky it is at the start of the mission, because imagine if it was at the end, you wouldn't be able to just go again.
Yeah.
Nice quick resets, at least.
Yep. Yeah. It's good for showing off, at least. All right. Let's see here. One more try. Come on. Let me have it. Nope. All right. So anyway, backup shred. This is the one thing I found. This is the one thing I can actually claim to have done. Because like basically what happened is we found mega jump, but it wasn't consistent at all. But it's still fast. So like we want to go for it. So I figured out that you could get back in bounds by pushing this barrel over and then jumping on top of here. This is also a good opportunity to blow up this truck preemptively. So you blow up the truck preemptively.
Oh, yeah, because they escape in it, right?
Yeah. There you go. And then you can just continue the mission as normal from here. Almost as normal. Obviously, the truck's already blown up.
Yeah,
so.
their escape vehicle is gone, but aside from that, it's normal.
That part's not normal, but okay. All right. Well, you know what? I lied. I'm doing it again because I didn't lock onto the right guy.
So the game is telling you, like, oh, by the way, just try one more time. The mega jump will work.
Just one more time, bro. Just one more time. All right. One more time. Get the line up here just right. Nope. All right. At least the out of bounds is consistent.
It's so surprising how consistent we were in this, where you could blow up a truck beforehand, do the mission, and a new truck is not spawned in, so they can.
Yeah.
We're just like, nope, this is gonna happen.
Yeah, you can fully just do missions like completely backwards, like out of order. Like before with the first boss fight, you can like take out the boss, take out the ship, and then just like kill all the grunts. The boss spawns, quote unquote, but the game just checks whether they're dead. They're already dead, so the mission just passes. Like,
there you go. Mr. Fruit found the mega jump, the GDQ mega jump. We all pop off very hard for that. And then I actually forget to do the mission correctly. And then I have to redo the whole mission anyway, which is pretty funny. But you can at least see the trick there.
This is perfect though, because Fruit found all the clips as well, so I can just go through his chat history to find them all. I don't have to remember who posted what, so thank you for your service, Mr. Fruit.
Alright. And then so what happens now is he tries to get in the truck, but the truck's already exploded. So he has a preset path for where he's gonna go, and so we're just gonna go ahead and meet him up there. I know you can't stop him sooner. He has to go to this location right here, and so we're just gonna wait for him. Or hey man, how's it going?
He's like, how did you know? Oh, the interrogation system. That was another one of my little handiwork in this thing.
It's so good, the fact that you can just like, people are starting to get annoyed, but if you slap them in their head right at the right time, they'll start like talking again. Give them a little tap.
I haven't been able to get it to happen here, but what can happen sometimes with interrogations is that if you mash hard enough before the UI appears, you can actually, your first, you'll get like an invisible exclamation point, and your first exclamation point will actually count for 2. It's a weird behavior. Again, it's very rare, but it's a fun little thing to get to happen. Our weapon's been taken from us. So this is a mission. This is probably like the most combat intense mission where we don't already have a pistol, so we have to make do with other weapons. Thankfully, thrown weapons rule, so we can like throw a sword at that guy, grab his rifle.
Oh yeah.
This is like pretty much the only time that you see Marcus like do his intentional run animation. Just regularly sprinting on through.
Yeah, I mean, right, because we're conserving ammo at this point because we need it, so we don't actually do that. Man, the whole leg comes off. That's brutal. I wince every time I do that. I do love it though. I love 3D games with big gibs. Let me tell you, I played some UT.
Oh, this is the one with the samurai at the end boss, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's right,
Benjamin.
that's right.
Yeah, and you fight him with the bamboo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's interesting that though we can't actually finish that first phase with just the sword.
Yeah.
We have to use the bamboo.
Because he like breaks it, I think, right? He like breaks the sword in half.
Well, the
or
sword just
something.
breaks on his armor.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, he has armor. Yeah.
That gate, the gate that just raised in that cutscene, you can clip through it, but the elevator isn't active until you hit the button. So even though we can clip through, we are compelled by the sequence to actually do the whole mission.
The rare anti-speedrun scripting.
All right, so I'm gonna do a bunch of light hits. Again, I think it's just number of hits on his armor, but you have to use weapons. You know, so I run over here.
There's our Tupac inspired character.
Yeah, I mean this is pretty on the nose. Like some of them are a bit more subtle, but yeah, 6'6" Tupac is pretty good.
So second phase, we're just gonna try to punch loop him. Nothing. He never gets hit by that bamboo, which is weird. I don't know if it's just like there's like a chance to hit or something, but anyway, punch loops. They're for breakfast.
Why does he
Where is the
abandon
sword?
his sword here? That's
Because
what
he's got another
I
sword,
always ask.
Right? He's got another sword. That's
Wait,
that's why.
why does he leave it for you? Why doesn't he take it with him and throw it off? You know, like this is.
It didn't work.
It makes it
Right?
too
Yeah,
easy for
right.
you.
You need a weapon.
Yeah.
Plus, you can't get to do this.
Yeah, true. Plot convenience.
And then we can do a heavy combo with the sword there, and that's easy peasy. That guy can mess you up if you let him touch you. It's awful.
Benjamin
He'll
is a
kill you.
brutal fight casually. Like if you don't put the heat on him fast, he will mess you up. Yeah. He's so powerful. And again, you have to do the whole thing again if you die to him. But brutal.
Well, the
All
run
three phases.
is about to be over here because I'm about to get to. This is the final. It's funny at the end here. The cursor starts on the beginning of the final mission location, such that like you immediately start the mission, and then you're here. You're already here in the subway, and then you just run after him. And what's funny about this too is that I think technically, if you run over enough people during the run, you could get into the bad cop ending. It's like never happened to me during a run.
That's the one with the
But,
fist
like,
fight in the train, right?
Yeah. It's where you do the fist. So yeah, again, it didn't happen. So.
Oh god, that fight is so awful as well.
Yeah,
I did that on my
I've never
first playthrough. It's so bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never done the bad ending. So.
Oh, it's so hard. It's so ludicrously hard because you fight through the train and you end up on like the health that you're on now, and you have to use that health to fight the final boss. So you end up on like 1 HP and you have to do the whole fight with 1 HP. And if you die and respawn, you get put on 1 HP again.
That's a problem. But
Yeah.
Anyway, that's True Crime New York City.
GG.
Fun speedrun.
Wow, that was really impressively fast. I am amazed, man. That is crazy.
So I don't know. I know we had a few clips queued up of things that we didn't get to show off. I don't know. Do you need me to do anything on my end, Ben? Because obviously I can. You know, if you want me to just stop the share or whatever. Or...
So all right, let me think about this. So I say as long as David doesn't mind, would you be down to stay for like some questions and whatnot, David? If people have them lined up, I know you were answering them in the chat as well, but people might be saving them.
Yeah, that I'm happy. You can still hear me, right?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Yeah. I'm happy to hang out. Yeah. Answer any questions that I can.
Yeah, perfect. Because if you did answer them in the chat, people might not be like paying attention to the chat, right? So they might, you know, have had the same question. But it'd be cool if you could answer them like on the stream for the sake of the recording and stuff as well. Yeah.
Will do.
Okay, cool.
Let's do it.
In the meantime, we can get those clips. Like while people are drafting their questions, we can get those clips up and have a look at them as well.
Actually, while they're drafting it, can I run to the bathroom real fast?
Yeah, no problem. I actually can in the
That'll be-
bathroom as well, so we could take 2 minutes.
Give me 1 minute here. Yeah.
All right, okay, I'm gonna do
minutes.
the same thing. Bring it back.
Can all the chats hear me still? Am I just do I get to hijack eBen's stream and Goodrich's stream? Excellent. All right, I'm trying to think of what would I even do? What could I get away with here? This is a lot of power. Okay, eBen's chat, you gotta push him to do a speed run of this game. Eben needs to do a run. All right. He needs to get sub hour in True Crime New York City. He clearly has not played True Crime New York City enough. I think we can all agree on that. But you gotta motivate him. Go back for Megan. Actually, would I be able to? That's a good question. Can I start the missions? Where is that menu? No, that's not there. There we go. It's here. Whoa, it's on Print Factory. Can I do it? Yeah, I can do it. All right. Oh yeah, I was gonna say that's another good one. All right, let's see here.
All right, I'm back.
Again, what I'm trying to do is I want to see that vent in the top left corner, and I just press right and I hold it. It'd be really
back
funny
at the
if it
mega
happens.
jump.
Yeah, I just trying it again a few times. Figure while we're waiting.
Yeah, no problem.
We also found the retextured crime cavern in from SGDQ.
Oh yeah, good.
It's another good bit. Oh man, clipped through extra quick that time. Question for me, favorite Armored Core game? It's probably AC1. I think AC1 is still, I mean, not that I don't enjoy other Armored Core games, but I feel like AC1 is that's just the winner. They did it right. They figured it out the first time.
It's a good thing I didn't pull up the clips midstream, by the way, because I just tested. If I put any window over the Discord screen share, it like black screens on OBS, so it would have like completely killed the feed. So I had a feeling it would break. Like I had a feeling it would do that. So yeah, we'll do it now at the end. Do it all. So when it breaks, it'll just break the ones.
All right, let's see this.
Okay, we're pulling up the clip.
Okay, are we doing the clips now? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll pull up the clip. Okay, so what I could do actually, if I can share my screen, so I'll capture my screen on OBS, and I'll also share it on Discord, so you guys can watch it, so we can all watch it at the same time.
Sounds good.
Yeah, if that makes sense.
Let's see.
I guess I can end my sharing then, right?
Yeah, sure, may as well. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take off window capture 1, which is this.
Oh yes, let me rejigger mine here a little bit.
Yeah, so, bear with. Stream things are happening. Please stand by.
All right, so I've just ended my stream. So it should be gone. Well, my Discord stream.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll close that.
Did GTA really have true crime parody? I know GTA had driver parody, right? Because they had the Tanner character in the one game.
Yeah, they have a bunch. So so in auto side, do you remember the mission where you got to take out like the different groups of guys for Mr. Black? They're all true crime like puns. So, like Nick Kong, for example, is one of the guys rather than Nick Kang. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all references to true crime.
Wait, they were doing that in a GTA?
Yeah, in Vice City. So 2002, they were doing true crime parodies. Yeah.
because we were doing it to them too in some of our billboards.
Yeah. I think there was a lot of that back and forth. Yeah, same with Driver as well, because Driver. So San Andreas has a cutscene where there's a guy playing Driver inside one of the mansions, and he says like, this game sucks or whatever. Like, Tanner, you asshole, this thing sucks. And then also in Driver 3, they have Timmy Vaselli rather than Tommy Vassetti or whatever his name is.
Right.
I think Timmy Vaselli or something, and they're collectibles that you can kill him in the game. So they have a bunch of stuff like that. Okay, let's pull up these clips. So
that's what it is, yeah.
history. So
All right.
I don't remember which one is which. Is the thing. Warning loud. This one's. Oh, this is the box.
The box one. Yeah, that's the box
thing.
one.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Let me put this here so everyone can see it on the stream, and also I will share it on Discord so you guys can see. I assume I can do this at the same time.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. Right. Okay, and if I share my browser rather than my entire screen, it should have audio, so you should be able to hear it as well. Let me know when you guys are in and you can see it.
All right. Let's see.
Yep.
Do a quick audio test. Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear that.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. Make sure it's not too loud. Oh yeah. Look at all these.
Oh, okay.
The frame rate too.
Yeah, it spawned a bunch of boxes all at once.
Why?
And now they're trying to resolve where they sit and trying not to sit within each other, so they're vibrating and probably making a bunch of noise at the same time.
Okay, clip number 2. This will be the Mega Jump, I assume. Already found it, bro.
Oh yeah, this is this is when I accidentally Mega Jump and when I did.
Oh yeah, in the other mission, right? In Vertigo,
In Vertigo, yeah. I'm trying to grind for like a good improve my PB here and
Whoa.
wow. Yeah. Just right out of bounds.
Yeah, so you
Did it
really
just
get
kill
launched.
you?
Jesus.
Yeah. Well, so
Holy
you can
shit.
see what happens again. Yeah, you can just almost step through it. Is that when I go to do that clip where I skip.
I'm gonna slow mo it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I get through and right there it just shoots me. Yeah, you can see.
Sent off into the stratosphere.
Yep.
Goddamn.
That's funny. Yeah,
It's so strange because it doesn't like anything in particular causes it. It's like randomly when you clip out of bounds. It's just...
Yeah, we always had these collision bugs at Lexoflux. Any old heads here who remember like Vigilante 8, where you'd be driving around a car and all of a sudden it'd hit a rock and just launch into orbit?
Yeah.
This reminds me of that kind of collision issues that we had back then.
The third clip as well. This is the oh yeah, this is the fruit textures, right? Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah. And so now I'm really, really delighted to introduce the KZ Fruit Memorial.
Why is my face all over this place? There I am. Look at me. I am so handsome, guys. Aren't I just so handsome?
I love that.
Fru has such memeable faces as well. That's the best part. Is he's like
good emotes for sure.
Yeah, good emote faces. Good. Yeah.
Carl, that did come up. I did mention that when it came to
yeah. So let's discuss.
Report.
Yeah. So
I think there should be one more clip. I think
one more clip.
Yeah, it was probably before the Crime Cavern one. I think there was a fourth one that was.
Oh, here's the GDQ Mega Jump. So I didn't miss that one.
So this is what I was trying to do. This is what I was trying to do.
I'm gonna set it up and hold down the button, and we'll see what happens. There's a pretty low chance of it, but on the GDQ chip.
Oh! Yeah, dude! Yes!
Sick.
Oh my God! The chance of that is so low, it's staggering.
And it just puts you straight into here right away.
Just puts you straight where you need to go. Yeah, it's incredible. And like if you get the Mega Jump, it is just that consistent. Like it will always put you in the same place.
That's sick. It seems to be the same thing as well. Like you kind of out your hands, as you said. You just kind of just hold the button, and it just puts you right in the exact location, right through the wall again.
Oh, we got one more clip. I feel like I'm about to be put on trial here. What?
One more clip. Yeah.
No, these are great finds. Like, this is really impressive.
Yeah, this is cool. I had no clue this even existed. I feel like I'm pretty on top of true crime speedrunning, but
Yeah. So again, this is something that like typically when I'd be doing runs, I would go for it. I expect it to fail, and I would do the backup.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, because you may as well try it,
it,
right? Because you're
Yeah.
doing this. You have to go out of bounds
You're
with the
just
backup
running
anyway.
through the hallway and shooting people normally. It's just
Yeah,
like whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
This
let's see this last
reminds
clip.
me of Ratchet and Clank game I worked on where I saw them speed running it, and they're doing crazy stuff. Like they throw down this weapon onto the ground, then they stand on it, then they aim backwards, and they shoot another weapon while jumping, and all of a sudden they like skip to the end of the level, and I'm just like, we would have never thought of that. Like, what is going on here? And this is like it's really neat to see this stuff.
Oh, we got a vintage clip here.
Yeah,
Look at
baby
this.
Fru. Look at this. This is like 16-year-old Fru here, without his facial hair. Okay, so he says this clip is from when I was testing out a hard sell skip, and my question is, WTF happened? Okay.
All right. I'll stock those knockoffs, okay?
Okay.
Please leave.
Hey, Lynn is happy you kept him as a partner.
Learning the martial arts. Nope. What the fuck?
Oh.
What?
What? Wait, what happened there? Go back.
So he got tasered by the guy, but it made him turn into it switched his outfit for some reason,
Learning the martial arts. Nope. What the fuck?
and it killed the hood heads-up display as well,
What?
and just locked up the game. I think.
I have no words.
It's-
Um,
it's-
Lynn is happy you kept him as a
Oh my god. It must have.
Learning the martial arts. Nope. What the
The being
fuck?
tased animation must have pulled up the outfit that you had already bought. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's so bizarre. I've never seen that before either. Mental.
That's a great clip. I like that.
Mid 2000s jank at its best. That is. Yeah. All right. Should we do Q&A?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool. I'll have to think of something to put on the visual screen for everybody to look at, rather than just like Fru's face being shocked. Yeah, everyone, feel free to put your questions in, and we can always, I can always read them out, and David can give his 2 cents on various bits and pieces.
Looking at all those backgrounds, really, it brings back memories. We hired sorry, we didn't hire. Our art team was flown out to New York, and they stayed there for 2 weeks and just took pictures of everything in order to make all the textures for the game.
That must be such a cool job, like getting paid to travel like that and go around.
Yeah, it definitely is. I didn't get to go, but I wish I did.
Yeah,
Because I've heard they had a lot of fun.
Oh, stuff streaming. I guess I can just I don't know, screen share the Discord call or something.
I'm watching your stream for the chat. Let's see. What other little tidbits we got? Do you know the do you remember the band The Cars?
Vaguely, I think, yeah.
So it was an old band with Christo Kasich, I think was the name of the lead singer. His son was our lead art director on this project.
Right.
And he had a bunch of the hookup to a lot of the music context on this game. Carl knows what I'm talking about. Yep. No, we didn't get to meet Redmond, unfortunately. I don't know if they can still hear me. I see a commercial running right now.
I should be able to hear you, I think. I have a question.
Yes.
What if this is always going to be like the thing of, you know, maybe you weren't there and you don't know. What was the deal with Beetlejuice? Like, how did that come about? How did he end up in the game?
That was Activision looking for new talent. We couldn't get Snoop Dogg again. He was too expensive.
Right.
But they wanted to have kind of representation for New York. So Beetlejuice came up because he was affordable. And Activision pushed him as kind of a secret character within it. And then obviously Redman and a bunch of other New York-based artists in there. So that was mainly Activision's marketing plan there. which they spent a tremendous amount of money on marketing for this thing. I've heard anything from 15 million to 50 million
Oh,
in
goodness
marketing
me.
for this
Yeah.
game.
That is a lot of money.
Let's see. Wait, what? Whiskey says, "What was my favorite part on game dev on this game?" Working with Ray Parks. I mentioned it earlier, but the guy who played Darth Maul in the Star Wars movies was the guy who did all our mocap for combat styles. So I got to work with him and direct him for a couple of weeks, and we mocapped him doing all the fighting styles. Yeah, and Toad on X Men. You're correct. It's funny because I asked him to do a particular flip, asking if he could do it for one of our combat styles, and he did it and
Oh, didn't
came
he injure
down.
himself or something?
Yeah, he came down exactly. I think I told you the story.
Yeah, I
He
think I remember
came
you telling
down
me. Yeah.
and landed in the wrong way and hurt himself. And this is in the middle of mocap. Like we still had like another week to go, and he just drops to the ground in pain. And we're like, "Are you all right? Are you all right?" And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, don't worry, don't worry." And he's like sitting there, and he's just on his knees grimacing for like 5, 10 minutes, and then he gets up, and goes, "I'm ready to go again." And I see the inside of his leg turn purple at that
Oh, man.
point. But he's just like, let's do something not so crazy, but I'm going to finish out all the moves that you guys want me to do. And he just kept going.
What an absolute animal. What a beast.
Any bizarre bugs that got caught by QA? No, I can't think of any off the bat because QA was kind of separate from main Luxaflux. Yes, we played through our stuff as best we could, but we still had to make stuff. We would just get bug reports, and usually those went straight to programmers because those are the ones who would actually fix that. There is one fun bug though that not a bug, but let's say an oversight is because we switched out Nick Kang halfway through development to Marcus. Um, we had to strip out all the cinematics and redo them and make the new character and rejigger the entire storyline. But we forgot to, I think, if I remember this right, we forgot to change a texture on one of the pictures when Marcus is picking up a picture and talking about his family, and it's Nick Kang's family on there, and nobody noticed that until like years later. So if you look
that's
hard
super
enough,
easy to miss, to be fair. Like, unless you're like watching all the cutscenes.
exactly.
Yeah.
I see other questions here. I share my birthday with him. That's awesome. I assume you're talking about Ray Parks.
Beetlejuice.
What story?
I think they said share their birthday with Beetlejuice.
Yeah, I know. Oh, is it Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
What story details were changed when we had to switch to Marcus? We had to rewrite any connections, obviously, from him coming from LA and transferring over to the new department. There's going to be a whole thing about that where he kind of screwed up in LA, so he had to come to New York to work there. And then he was also we're going to pepper in some stuff for his continuation of the storyline where he was getting messages from his cousins and extended family in Hong Kong towards the end of True Crime 2, and then he was going to have to go out there and then help them with various gangs like Yakuza and things like that. So those were kind of the major beats we had to change there, and then obviously rewrite the entire beginning of the story where, obviously Nick Kang's dad is not in prison and he's not part of all these cartels in New York. So there was some heavy changes in there.
Yeah, because I remember that was always like the thing that people talked about, right? Is like there was always the plan to have LA, New York, and Hong Kong, and it was supposed to be True Crime Hong Kong, which then became Sleeping Dogs. But it wasn't until later on, I think, that like Square Enix picked up that and started working on like a sequel or like a third part of the trilogy, but also kind of not, right? It's like a spiritual successor more than anything.
Yeah, yeah. You are correct. It was going to be a trilogy with Nick Kang all the way through to Hong Kong. And then we got the feedback to change the character halfway through. It became Marcus. And then at that point, at the end of True Crime 2, we were talking about how to extend Marcus into, a third installment there. But True Crime 2 did not sell as well as True Crime 1, and our budgets were probably 10x what the first one was. So Activision basically laid off the entire, well, almost the entire team. I think we had like a B team limp along making a Transformers game before Luxaflux finally shut down. But Activision realized their mistake later on, saying, "Ooh, actually, this sold halfway decently. We need another one of these." But the team was gone, so that's when they contacted the new company. But True Crime was now, and I got to look into the details of this. It was kind of in copyright hell or limbo at this point, so they ended up not being able to use the True Crime name, and that's when it became Sleeping Dogs.
Yeah. It's mad because I don't remember, like, obviously I was a kid. I don't remember True Crime NYC, like, bombing or anything when it came out. And I remember the reviews being pretty good as well at the time. But I think it might have just been a case of, like, as you said, like, the production costs were so much higher that even if it sold more than True Crime LA, it probably needed to sell, like, 5 to 10 times as much as you said because the production costs were so high.
Exactly.
Like, for them to get their money back, it would have been, like, a really difficult sell. They would have had to sell like millions and millions of copies.
Correct. Yeah, it ended up selling about 3 million copies, just like the first one did.
Yeah.
But the first one exploded out of the gate. So Activision had that data saying, LA was a massive hit, and then when True Crime 2 was released, we sold about 1/3 of the units initially, and that's when Activision, within a couple of months, just said, "Okay, it's time for layoffs. Like it's time for everybody to go. This is a flop." But it did eventually catch up, and that's kind of when they changed their tune. But the damage was done at that point.
Yeah, I remember LA being like, and as you say, like a nuclear bomb when it came out. Like I remember it being massive, because people were also waiting for San Andreas at that point, and they wanted more like open world crime games after Vice City. And then it was the first time that, so you have like GTA 3 came out 2001, Vice City comes out 2002, and 2003 didn't have anything. So all the GTA fans played True Crime, like LA, right? Like everybody did it at the time, I remember.
Yeah. And kind of like today, I mean, it was kind of an indie title back then in a weird way because Luxaflux hadn't been bought by Activision yet. And the first True Crime was made by about 30-ish people. But when we went into True Crime 2 and they wanted to make it bigger and have a lot more stuff to it, we swelled up to like 100 people for that project. And then with all the extra marketing and licensing of the music and then all the voice actors we got, the costs were just too great to recoup within a reasonable amount of time for Activision. Let's see what other questions we got here. Was there ever a third ending beyond good or bad cop? There was a neutral cop ending discussed at one point, but it would have been too much work for the team size. It got cut pretty early. Activision moment, yes. What's the most challenging aspect of creating this game? The sheer scope. Like we had people working on story, we had people working on the levels and the interiors and crime and all the different kind of game mechanics and making sure that they kind of all these different departments plugged into each other in a cohesive way for a project this size was probably the most challenging. And then also changing the character halfway through development was pretty challenging. I remember they gave us a speech about having to do crunch to get Marcus into the game. And the Activision producer came in. He's like, "Good news, everybody. We're catering dinner from now on out till the end of the project, but you got to stay till at least 10 o'clock to get it."
Oh,
and that's I was just like, "Uh-oh, I know we're in trouble now."
Yeah, that's nasty. Ouch.
What other? Let's see. Execs never understand art. True and real.
Yeah, we were saying before, weren't we, where it's like, you hear that a lot. It's like, oh, you've got to come in and do this, you got to come in and do that. But they're not the ones actually doing it, right? Like, they're just like, oh, you're a developer, you make things happen, you make this happen, and you do it within 6 weeks, because we need to release it by that time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, just do it. It's like, oh, yeah, of course. Like, I'll just magic this this new level and all these new cinematics, and, I'll just pull it out of thin air, right? Like, they just don't get it a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm. Was I around for developing I assume True Crime Hong Kong? No one was. So we had initial story beats from Nikang going to Hong Kong, but that story was never fully fleshed out beyond really what I talked about here. So when Luxo got shut down, I think Activision approached the new studio and said, "Let's make this in Hong Kong," and then that that was basically it. But any development beyond this loosely being a true crime sequel and those story beats, none of Luxo worked on that.
PMC, by the way, your mic is sometimes echoing. I don't know if you've like switched to speakers or something.
No, I'm kind of relying on Discord noise cancellation to take care of things.
All right, okay.
I will,
It always comes down to Discord noise cancellation. It's always the victim.
Yeah. At least it's not me this time. I feel better.
Yeah. It's always Discord's fault. Always.
As far as I can remember, anything from the game's early prototype builds that people have never discovered, especially something that it still exists in the retail game. Not that I recall.
I imagine that's a super difficult question for a game that's like 20 years old, right? Like
Yeah,
over 20 years ago.
I remember some of the stuff we put into Vigilante 8 that nobody knew about that was in those builds. They were eventually found, but for this one, it really just comes down to any leftover Nikang assets like the photo he picks up in the cinematic. As a dev, do you read the reviews or shield yourself? I do not. I read the reviews. I do not shield myself. I come from the era of devs where we want as much critical feedback as possible, and then the ones that are reasonable that will fix the game, we want to address. I do not like the devs who stick their head in the sand and cannot take criticism about their games, because we're making this game for you guys. We are not the audience. If we just make it for ourselves, that's an audience of one. So we want to make it for basically the intended audience, which means taking all the feedback and as harsh as it may be. Let's see. Plus, Vice City took a jab at the Getaway and True Crime having specific characters getting wasted by Tommy. I totally missed that.
Yeah, there was a whole like sort of friendly rivalry between them all in the early 2000s. Yeah,
it's funny because we never talked to each other ever. There was no cross pollination there whatsoever. We'd see it and then we'd make fun of the other game.
It was so funny, especially with Driver 3, because obviously True Crime is a different story, but Driver 3, as soon as they started getting into that sort of horse race with GTA, obviously then GTA goes into the stratosphere with San Andreas, like arguably the most well-known game of all time on the PS2. Mm-hmm. And then Driver 3 was like the beginning of the end for the Driver series. You know, it was like the complete opposite ways that the franchises went. Like Driver 3 was like pretty much buried the franchise because it was just a terrible, terrible game. It sold horribly. It was commercially, panned. And then obviously San Andreas became like one of the most biggest games of all time. So it's funny to see how it went.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait till the next GTA comes out. That's going to be nuts.
Yeah. God, don't even get me started on that.
Let's see. Pazzy, was Sleeping Dogs coming out as a pseudo sequel to the game? Were you involved? No, none of Lexoflex was involved in that. I have not played it, but I just bought it on a Steam sale for $2. So I'm planning to stream that.
You never played Sleeping
next
Dogs?
month. I have not played Sleeping Dogs.
That game is excellent. Excellent game.
I've heard amazing things about it. So here's a tragic thing about game developers is we don't have a lot of free time. So we don't get to play a lot of games like normally streamers would. So if it's a competitor, we'll play it. But if it's a game that's no longer a competitor like Sleeping Dogs, because I moved on to like Ratchet and Clank after this one, then I just didn't play it because we're working sometimes 7 days a week, 80-hour weeks. For up to a year straight to work to like get a game out the door sometimes. So last thing I want to do is make games all day, come home, and then play games until it's time to go back to work at that point. I know that sounds terrible, but you have to have a little bit.
I can completely relate to that. It's funny you say like streamers as well, because like, so obviously I stream GTA primarily, but I also play some other games, right? But I'm exactly the same. I don't play video games like off stream anymore. I used to play them all the time in my evening and my spare time. But now, as you say, the last thing I want to do is play video games, and I've played them all day. Like as soon as I like leave my office for the day, I don't really play video games at all in the evenings now.
Is this your full-time gig now?
Yeah, it has been for like 2 years, I think. Yeah, it's just
Wow,
over 2 years.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I have found myself caught up in the video game layoffs, so I'm just like, maybe I should stream more.
I was like,
Maybe I should do
streaming
game
is really
development on
cool. Like
stream.
I love it as a job, but as you said, like it does change things in your free time because like video games before was like my biggest thing that I did like all the time, and now I just don't feel like playing them anymore. Like I've like massively like changed how I view them, which is interesting. But it's still like it's suffering from success. Like I would still rather have this as a job than many other jobs and play video games in the evening. So
Yeah, it's nice to be your own boss. It has a level of
yeah,
job security you normally wouldn't.
yeah,
So I totally get that.
yeah.
Um, let's see what else we got. Has the debug stuff been accessible on retail? Been brought up? Oh no,
There's debug
the
in this.
menu.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, okay, I can talk about this one. I
Yeah,
am aware of
yeah,
the debug stuff. I forget what versions it's available on, but it is out there. There is ways to get into it. I don't know. It's one of those things where like for like a speedrun purpose, some speedruns will use debug menus, but I never looked into it for. I don't even know if it would be useful for anything. So it hasn't come up in the speedrun at least. But I am aware that there are versions where it is accessible.
That's quite the oversight, but I guess we didn't care at that point.
Yeah, that's usually a pretty big thing to leave in by mistake, but it seems to happen more and more often. Like as time goes on, I feel like this wasn't a big thing like 20 years ago, but nowadays like people
Not,
find stuff all the time.
yeah, I mean, especially with current tech, you can easily crack games from 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like there's just no stopping that eventually. I saw an earlier comment. I don't see it anymore. How big was the team size? The first one was about 30-ish people, and then this one grew to about 100 really rapidly, and there was a lot of growing pains. There was also quite a bit of drama going on at points during this production because um, when you grow a studio, you want to do it slowly and make sure everybody gels. And this was just like, we need a bunch of people now. So there's a lot of very strong personalities fighting on this project too, including with Activision. But yeah, this one got up to about 100 people, which also is why it was super expensive. I think this game for the time was about 10 million to make, maybe 15 at tops, and that's without licensing and marketing and all that stuff. What else we got?
So I'm just thinking like, so the game was like $40-$50 at the time, so it would have had to sell like a lot on like day one for Activision not to immediately panic, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think I want to say the first 3 months we sold maybe 300. No, I think it was 70,000 units.
And that's like, yeah, not nearly enough to recoup costs, right? Like we're talking, you would need to sell like at least 1 million units like fast to get the money back.
Okay, so I pulled up this data. LA sold 300,000 units in the first 2 weeks. True Crime 72,000 units.
Oof.
So about a third of what LA did. But eventually LA did 3 million worldwide and New York did 3.6 million. So it did actually eclipse LA, but not soon enough for Activision before.
Yeah, it just took too long and they pulled the plug anyway. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's sad. Yeah.
Let's see, True Crime Hong Kong. Were any of the missions rewritten? Because I remember NYPD called for a boycott thing for the game back. Oh, that's right. NYPD did call for a boycott on us.
Wait, really? That's news to me.
God, I think did we flip around the letters to PDNY or something on the cars because of that?
Correct. The letters are PDNY, yeah, because of NYPD complaining.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So copyright started to become a thing too. We had to, so in a lot of our earlier games, we put on things like NASA as one of our levels, in Vigilante 8, and we'd have like the Red Cross for health symbols. We had to change all of that stuff because all these organizations said you can't use our stuff anymore. So that's funny. That started to pick up a lot, and now that's like a mainstream thing these days. Let's see, any other questions I'm missing here? Do we know
Can you give us
owns...
a quick rundown really quick? So I think Vigilante 8, you keep mentioning it. It's one of your previous games at Luxoflux, right?
Yeah, so Luxoflux, it was one of my first games I made. So let's see, how do I want to cover this? I-76 was basically a car combat game on PC. Activision wanted a console version of it. That's where we came in and made Vigilante 8. And then from there, made a couple of auto combat games that were competition for Twisted Metal series. And we did pretty well. We made V8 with 5 people, and it sold like 1.3 million copies, and which was pretty huge back then. And then that kind of led us to the initial kind of driving around the city and planning out this game that was going to turn out to be true crime at one point. But so we made that game. We started to plug in a lot of the data, building out a kind of a bigger car combat game that then became True Crime LA. Activision liked it. They bought the company, and then we spun up into True Crime 2. And then unfortunately that killed us eventually because we didn't meet their expectations.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vigilante 8 is if you know Twisted Metal, it's a lot like Twisted Metal. And actually, the Twisted Metal team even hired me to go work for them for basically during Streets of LA. So I was there at the very beginning of True Crime. Streets of LA, left to go work on the Twisted Metal series, a couple of games there, and then came back for True Crime 2. Oh, hold on. That's true. Supposed to focus on Jack Thompson stuff. I don't even know what that is.
I think from memory, Jack Thompson was the guy who campaigned against violence in video games back in the early 2000s, right? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, being GTA focused, it was a big deal back then, right?
Yeah, he was a lawyer, an American lawyer who's now disbarred, not surprisingly, who was engaged in a lot of just kind of moral panic over violence in video games type stuff. Like, truly dubious arguments. I mean, we know that on the face of it, but his behavior rose to such a level of professional misconduct that he is not able to practice as a lawyer. So no one worth remembering. But yeah, he would show up in the news now and then trying to make a name for himself.
Yeah, I remember he clashed with Rockstar a lot, especially around like Vice City San Andreas time, talking about how like they're like
about True Crime swag.
Yeah, mass murder simulators and that kind of stuff. It was, yeah.
Someone's asking about True Crime swag. Most of it was saved for magazines and other important people to kind of grease the palms, but I did walk away with a True Crime sticker.
Nice.
And my nameplate from the Activision days. What else we got? Twisted Metal mentioned, yes, Low Pepino. You are correct. What are some of the games you played that got you into game development? A lot of the Super Nintendo games. I've been playing games and going to arcades ever since I've been alive. So my first system was the Atari 2400, and then going up to like ColecoVision and Television, Super Nintendo, which I still have over there on my Sega Genesis. I'm playing a lot of games like X-Men game, Ogre Battle, things like that. But I also played a lot of board games too, which is where I learned how to do game design. So I play old Steve Jackson games like Car Wars and a lot of D&D to kind of learn the systems. And this is a bit off track, so forgive me. But when I got out of college, I was living in D.C., and my first job was working at the Pentagon doing briefings for the military.
What a job. Straight out of college. Straight into the Pentagon.
I was a contractor there. And I was working on projects like the Humvee, so you can thank me for that crap. But I was doing well, and my boss is just like, hey, we need you to go to the DMZ in North Korea or South Korea. But don't bring anything more than you can pack in like 5 minutes, just in case you got to get a chopper out of there, if stuff gets hot. And I was just like, I think I'm done here. So my buddy showed me an ad in the back of, I think it was Game Informer or one of the older mags for doing texture mapping on a video game called Treasures of the Deep, which was my first game. So I would stay late at the Pentagon and work on learning how to do 3D model and texture mapping, and I submitted all my art to them, and I got the job, and that's kind of how I got into games. And I've been doing it ever since.
That's really cool. I didn't expect the Pentagon South Korea twist. That was not what I thought.
I know. Yeah. When you live in Northern Virginia, you're going to work in the military.
Yeah.
Fortunately, now I live in LA, so it's a little bit more relaxed here.
Yeah.
Would you ever consider taking part in a true crime speed run myself? Yeah, I would do it. I always think it might be fun.
He took part today. What do you mean? This is taking part.
I think he means maybe one of you guys or somebody else coaches me while I play on stream as I fumble my way through my game.
That would be content. Yes, it'd be hilarious.
I'd be like, what do you mean shoot at the wall right here at this?
Yeah, just walk out the wall, bro. It's easy.
I need some true crime swag. No. Car Wars on Cars mentioned. Hey, also Auto Duel is another one that was pretty influential into these type of games that we built V8 and Twisted Metal and all the other games around. I did not expect that plot twist. That's always a good plot twist, though. Anytime I see a Humvee, I'm gonna know who made it. I didn't make it, Little Pepino. I just helped get it funding. I didn't know it was gonna become a street ready car. It was just gonna be in conflict. Let's see. I've been down to the DMZ. It's a very strange experience. Well, that makes one of us. I decided not to go. Treasures of the Deep also mentioned. Yeah, that's a very obscure game.
So I guess well, it's on my mind. So do you want to give like a rundown of what games you've worked on in terms of like, you know, AAA studios and stuff? Like you said you worked on like Ratchet and Clank and stuff, right, as well?
Yeah, I could do that.
If it's not too much trouble, of course. Maybe it's a massive list. I don't know. Maybe we'll be here all day.
I may run out of breath here. But
yeah. Feel free to do it
all
until
right.
you get bored.
Let's see. We got Treasure of the Deep, and these are all PlayStation 1 games. Treasure of the Deep, Tomorrow Never Dies, 007.
Great game.
Vigilante 8, Second Offense, Agile Warrior, Star Wars Demolition, Twisted Metal Small Brawl, Twisted Metal Black, the online version, Ratchet and Clank Size Matters, True Crime New York. I was there for the beginning of True Crime LA, but left very shortly after. Pirates 101, a little bit of Wizards 101. Sorry, I'm looking at my wall. I actually have a whole wall of content that I've made over here. Yeah. Secret Agent Clank, Jack and Daxter Lost Frontier, Where's My Water 1 and 2, and then a whole bunch of very small indie games in other projects. I also worked on a robot at one point called Moxie that was for kids who needed extra help. So that's pretty much the full list of my stuff. And now I'm probably going to start working on a couple of just small indie games. I'm looking at Twitch integrated games and YouTube integrated games that streamers can play with their audience on breaks.
Yeah.
That's just like a 3 or 4 minute experience.
Yeah, there's a whole like untapped market with like, you know, viewer interaction stuff now, right?
Yeah, they've touched upon it a little bit. But I worked on a game called Nitro Stream Racing, and you can feel free to look it up. It got shut down because it wasn't very profitable, but it's basically Mario Kart where it auto races, but then you in the chat can type in like things like missile or speed up or sorry, boost or things like that to control how your car's doing on the track. And I thought that was really cool. And we had some great ideas, but that went under, and a lot of these Twitch integrated games they don't stick around very much because they need X amount of users. But with me being a 1 or 2 man team, I bet I could throw something together that's kind of fun. Maybe a deduction game or something to play with chat. Who knows?
One of the coolest things that I've seen recently, well, sort of over the last couple of years, has been crowd control. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's like a website that's built like almost like a framework that allows people to add like Twitch integration into already established single player games. So like for example, if I'm playing like GTA Vice City, right, there was obviously no Twitch back then, but via crowd control you can get certain triggers to happen. So you can like, you know, spawn in objects, or like, you know, give the player a gun or take it away. You know, you can help or hinder the player, and it's really cool to do like a, you know, a 2-hour session. They do it at charity events all the time, so they'll have like a charity event and you'll speedrun the game, but the chat will help or hinder you depending on whether they, you know, want to mess with you a little bit, and stuff like that is so cool, and it raises like so much money for charity. It's such a cool idea.
I need to look into that, because that's exactly what I want to do. I want to do like a deduction game, like kind of the one I'm thinking about right now is like Eyewitness, where the streamer is trying to deduce who did it, but the chat can only give him hints, both to help or hurt him, depending what team they are, using I words, and then see if that makes kind of a fun little party game for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's a really cool idea.
But yeah, let's see. What else we got in chat? Vigilante 8 exclamation point. Yeah, shiz. I was one of the 4 people who made that game. I also helped out on a recent, and I see someone in the chat, Unity version of Vigilante 8 a while back, giving some of my old notes on it and stuff. But there was a fan-made Twisted Metal that just came out that was made by a handful of guys that is fantastic. If anybody ever wants to look that up and try that game, it's free. You might like it doing that if you like driving there, Ben.
I'm a terrible driver. I got shit every single day about my driving.
Are you working on anything right now? Cool, nothing at the moment. I got caught up in the industry layoffs, but I'm looking at doing some small independent projects right now while I'm looking around for stuff to do. Let's see. I miss AA gaming. So do I, Tron Tape. Games have gotten way too big. Hey, Infinity, how's it going? Infinity is the guy who's currently running the Unity version of Vigilante 8, where people can go on and play online, which is pretty cool. It's a very cool idea. Let's see. Crowd control. That was fun. Hell yeah. Have you tried OG vehicles, bro? I'm going to do that on stream at some point. I promise. I'll check out your update to Vigilante 8. Ben never crashes. You ever work any license-based games, like let's say a superhero game, like Spider-Man or something?
You did Star Wars at some point, right? Early on.
Yeah, we did Star Wars Demolition, which was kind of wild. We were getting one last use out of the Vigilante 8 engine, and somehow, well, Activision saw that games like Halo and GTA were starting to steal the thunder from like car combat games like V8 and Twisted Metal. So they weren't going to fund another one of those, but we wanted another use out of our engine. So my boss went to LucasArts and got a deal to do a vehicular combat Star Wars game. And Lucas went for it. Like they even went up and like met him at the ranch and everything, and he gave him a bunch of notes about what they could possibly do in the game. But when we started the project, they just gave us a dump of all the episode 1 art of like the little skinny bots and Darth Maul and all these characters, Aura Singh, and we got no context to it. Like we didn't have any idea like what their abilities are, or what they could do, what their backstory was. So we had all this art and we didn't know what to do with it. So we just made up like specials and what weapons did and what things happen in levels, and just kind of cooked it out ourselves without any guidance at that point from LucasArts, which was wild.
Should I, well, it's on my mind as well, all these like drawings and stuff that you sent on Discord, I could maybe like show them on the screen.
Yeah, you want to pop them up? Go ahead.
Yeah, you can sort of like a presentation almost, and you can sort of go through them.
Sure, I'll speak to them.
All right, cool. Let me do some OBS things here. Give me give me another moment. Close this. I'll just like open them all in my browser, and we can just go through them like one by one.
And I apologize if I don't get anybody's questions here. I missed it while I was scrolling by. Feel free to join my Discord or follow my channel. I do speak about this stuff, and I try to address as many comments as I can while I'm streaming. Rog, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. So I do a lot of game streaming on Twitch, but I also do deep dive videos on my YouTube side. You can find the links there. I actually just responded to one of David Jaffe's takes on no disc, no buy for PlayStation.
Oh yeah.
If you're not familiar with who he is, he's the creator of God of War and Twisted Metal, and me and him kind of spar now and then, back and forth. Hey, Detnian, I hope I'm saying that right. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. All right, let's see. What do we got? Oh,
Yeah,
thanks, Southwood Warrior.
I'll bring up the things on stream. Do you want to just maybe you can like watch the stream and see what I pull up, and you can talk about it?
Watching it right now.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Okay.
While we're in this transitional moment, I think I need to bounce, so I'm just going to end my part, and I'll raid over to you, Eben.
All right. No
Thank
worries.
you again for having me.
No, thank you for coming. Of course, like this wouldn't have been possible without
No,
you.
it was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, PMC. I appreciate you.
Take care.
Yeah, thanks, PMC. I appreciate it. This is great. You showed me stuff I never thought possible with our game. So this is very cool.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Hey,
tell
Titus,
us
thank
about
you.
these pitches, David.
Oh yes, this is our true crime booth at E3. This is not appropriate for today, but we have our booth babes out front in their bikinis as usual.
Yeah, this is a product of
are-
its time for sure.
Yeah, these were our honey traps to pull in the Japanese businessmen.
Yeah.
Come over our booth and buy our units.
Yeah. But you can see in the background
yeah.
as well, you got the Spider-Man game, and then you got like Quake 4 as well. So this would have been like what 2003, 4
that sounds about right.
around that time.
I want to say 2003.
Yeah.
If I remember right. Yeah, and then Activision would buy out all these areas. E3's gone now, which is it's sad. I get it, but it was very expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like a circus, really. They would put on elaborate shows. They would have all kinds of special effects, confetti cannons, smoke machines, girls dancing, bars everywhere, and they're all in hopes of getting like Best Buy and Hollywood Video and Blockbuster to buy X amount of units of the game, because we needed those extra sales to kind of make the game a success.
Yeah.
Let's see. Rip booth girls. All right, what else we got here?
This is a driving course, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. This looks like the driving course. So this is one of the tutorial levels I made for driving, and you can see the overall layout, and it's kind of built to a grid for scale. And then I have call outs, kind of the story beats of what happens at every single moment as you're going through the entire course here, what it's teaching, what you need to do, what kind of targets are there, things like that.
So these are like sort of concept arts that you might have like handed into programmers or artists or whatever to help you actually create these things, right?
They're a little bit beyond concept. Like back in the days of like Twisted Metal, we would do like a napkin sketch and then we'd hand that off to an artist.
Yeah.
This it was built in Illustrator, so it's made of splines. I can take this, bring it into Maya, and then extrude the splines up and make the level in like 5 minutes to test out as a gray box.
Yeah, cool. Interesting.
And then once we played through it and it felt good, then we'd hand it off to an artist to like finish it up.
Yeah. Have these seen the light of day? Like, or are these like, they've been sat in like a folder since 2004, 2005?
They have not seen the light of day until my last stream.
Yeah, okay.
So you are the next to actually show us off.
Yeah, okay. Never before seen content unless you watched that one particular David stream. But if you didn't, never before seen content right here.
There you go.
Yeah. So it's like, some of these are a bit small. I'll zoom in a little. This seems to be like some kind of zone where Nick, quote unquote, main character of True Crime New York City, Nick, cannot climb or can climb.
Yeah, so this is our whole context sensitive auto movement. So if Nick runs up to a very short fence in that green area that's about waist high, and you can see the scale to the left as to like, I think, meters it is, he can just auto jump the first one, and then the next one he plays an animation for like a quick hop, and then from
like,
there.
it can't be
does a-
meters. There's no way, because 12 meters? Think of how tall that is. Like, an average person
Am
is
I
like
reading?
2 meters tall.
Oh
That'd be
no, it's
6
three. It's
people
feet.
high.
It's feet. I see it.
I was gonna say.
Sorry, three
Goodness
feet.
me.
He does an auto hop.
Yeah.
You are correct. And
Yeah.
then so it's basically, do you need a button, and what kind of animation does it play when he hits these various barriers?
Yeah.
So this is how we would determine kind of the movement scales here.
Hmm.
And yes, it lists Nick down there, as you noticed, because Nick was literally the main character for the first half of the entire development of this game.
Yeah. So I imagine a lot of these things will reference it because these were probably created in the first half before Marcus was, even existed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
12 freedom meters.
Yeah.
I assume you're from the UK, Tinus.
So here we've got a button layout concept, I imagine.
Yes.
Yeah, on foot versus
correct.
vehicle.
So this is button mapping here, depending on whether you're fighting or in vehicle. Probably a very early draft of it. I doubt it's accurate at this point.
Yeah.
But you can see we were looking at PlayStation first based on the symbols on the buttons there.
Yeah, because
So we built up.
Go on, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just say you released on PlayStation first, right? I think, and then I think PC, Xbox, and GameCube came later, or did you release all at the same time?
I think, God, you're really stretching my memory.
I want to say it was
given
PS2
we were
first, and then PC and stuff like a few months later, but I'm not 100% certain.
Yeah, I think you're right, because we were running a lot of this in tandem. Luxaflux was a PlayStation first studio.
Yeah.
So that was always going to be the first thing out the door, and probably the most polished. And then we handed stuff off to be ported, or we hired on people to help with the porting with it, which didn't turn out to be the best thing.
Yeah, that's why you get away with all the comments about the PC version, right? Because you can just say, I didn't touch it. We had a porting studio.
right.
Blame them.
It's not my fault. What are you guys talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
PlayStation version was almost perfect,
Yeah, yeah.
which it wasn't.
Well, it's certainly a lot more put together than the PC version and Xbox and whatnot. Like, no massive game-breaking bugs that are very prevalent, like in PC and Xbox.
Yeah, it's funny, and Activision will let you get away with, or any publisher, even Sony will let you get away with X amount of bugs. I think I always go back to like Twisted Metal, but like Twisted Metal Black shipped with 500 known bugs, but as long as none of them are, as long as none of them are known A bugs, you get something like no A bugs, and you probably know this. You were a playtester. You get 15 B, like 30 Cs, and then it just keeps going down until you get like non-reproducibles, and there's like 100 or 1,000 of them in there.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, it's like essentially a tier list of like, so A will be like completely like, super easy to replicate and super damaging, right? Like those are the kind of two main metrics that people look at, is how often will it be seen in a sort of casual playthrough setting, like a regular playthrough, and how damaging is the bug. So if you have like a grade A one, it usually means it's really common, like you'll see it in testing all the time, and it's really bad, like it breaks the game or like breaks your save or something. And then, B, C, and so on and so forth, like, less common, but pretty bad. But they're like not super common. And then you have like, as David says, like ones that are, it happened to one person once, you can't recreate it, so you can't even think about diagnosing what went wrong because it never happened again. So you just gotta like ignore it and hope it doesn't happen again, right? Like most reports, you only start doing anything if it happens the second time. If it happens the first time, you can just go unlucky and move on,
Yeah, or a lot of times people come back and say, "Oh, is the system?"
Yeah,
we were doing it on a
especially
broken,
with PC. Like obviously console is different, but especially with PC, you get a lot of times where you'll just have like a really specific driver and it'll just like cause a crash, and it's not even the game's fault,
Let's see. Unlike games these days that were borked day one, needed a patch.
Yeah,
day
like
one.
40 gig patch. I've always said this, like the idea of being able to patch data like over the internet into like a Steam game was really, really good, but it also made developers way more like lazy in terms of their day one builds, right? Because obviously back when you were making like True Crime, for example, David, you couldn't just patch the game, right? Like once it was out on the disc, it was it. Like if you had like a game-breaking bug, you would have to recall all of the discs and make a new one, which would be a massive headache and it would be stupidly expensive. But now, if you were to release True Crime 4 on Steam, you could just, even if there was a game-breaking bug, you can just hotfix it within like a few hours and fix it for everybody. So
Yeah.
it's a massive benefit, but also it means that like so many games come out nowadays that are broken, and then we'll just fix it later. You know, it's didn't have that option back in the day.
No, we didn't. You had to make sure that game was solid.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, we really couldn't slip days back then. They bought a marketing block on TV or magazine ads, so you couldn't just say we need another month. You put your nose to the grindstone and you played that thing and you fixed it like crazy. But they loved. I had some early discussions with Activision about wanting to go all digital way back in the day because they didn't like physical discs, and neither does Sony, as we've seen recently.
Yeah.
Because, and this wasn't necessarily a bug thing, this kind of came as an aftermath, but they hated the fact that Blockbuster and Hollywood Video and GameStop could buy a single copy of this thing and then rent it 10, 20, 30 times, but the publisher would never see a penny of it. So that's kind of where going all digital came from, but then it also allowed them to slip in other areas like, oh, we got 500 A-bugs, get it out the door, get the pre-orders out there, make everybody, put the money in, and we'll fix it on the back end.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're 100% right about that. Oh, I got one funny story for you though. You'll like this, Ben.
Yeah, sure.
So when we released Vigilante 8, it was just supposed to be a kind of a cheap couch co-op auto combat beat 'em up game, and we didn't expect it to do very much, but it sold out like in a month. So we
Right.
had to do a second printing of discs, and Activision came to us and said, "Hey, we found a game-breaking bug.
Oh
Just
no.
go in and fix this one bug. Don't tell anybody, and then we'll do the second printing. We'll have this with the bug fix in it." and there was just 4 of us in a room at Luxoflux, and I look over at my programmer, and I'm just like, "Adrian, there's like 4 things I want to fix in here on top of this. We don't have to tell Activision. Can you do this?" And he kind of goes, "Okay." So we slipped in 4 more changes without Activision knowing, on top of the changes that they wanted to go into the disc
Yeah.
without Sony knowing, because it had to go all the way back through QA again.
Oh man.
So I think we had the original first hot fix in video games.
That's crazy. Yeah, I know a lot of people slipped various things in under like, publishers' noses and stuff. I remember someone will have to like fill in the blanks for me here in the chat. I'm sure someone will know what I'm talking about. Maybe you will, David. There was a guy who made an Alien game. He was one of the developers, like scripters or programmers or whatever, on an Alien game that came out like years and years and years ago. And he deliberately implemented a how do you describe it? Like an ability to hot swap discs. You lift up the cover and the game still plays, and you can put in another disc and write data into that game. And he intentionally left that in deliberately because he knew that they would never find it. And it was just like, I don't remember why he did it, but there was some like reason, like maybe it was like a cool thing that I left in. But nobody knew about it for like 20 years until he said, because it's not something that you would ever test realistically, and it was only if you put in like a specific game and hot swap it in and all this kind of stuff. It was just, as you said, it was just like people going behind the backs of publishers and intentionally leaving stuff in and seeing what they could get away with, which is quite cool.
Yeah.
You don't see that
I got
nowadays. Yeah.
You got lots of stories of that. I mean, I remember PlayStation 1, like a bunch of my games, you could load in the game, then pull out the disc, and then put in your own music CD, and then you could have your own soundtrack for that game, which is pretty cool. But to your point, on some of the games that I worked on, people were putting their baby pictures behind walls.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that a lot.
Ever gonna
people sneaking
get
pictures.
to them. Yeah. And then Sony QA would find it after release, and we would get a talking to by Sony going, "What did you put this in here for? Why didn't you tell us about it? Why didn't you?" So they actually clamped down on us putting Easter eggs in games like that anymore, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. So it's far less of a thing nowadays. They don't really let you get away with it as much.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
No fun allowed, says
Yeah.
Carl. Do we have a couple? I think I got a couple more images.
Yeah, it's a big one. Zoom out again. What is this? This is the not the driving one,
melee.
the previous tutorial.
Yeah, I think this is melee combat here.
Yeah.
So it's the full course of going through. So teaching them all the maneuvers, who they're going to encounter, what they need to do to pass it,
Yeah.
and then the whole gating system in here. Maybe I'll throw these up on my Discord so people can read through them if they want to.
Yeah,
more
for
in
sure.
depth.
Yeah, definitely. Good to have them like archived somewhere.
Yeah, they're also archived with you now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you get to hold on to them.
Yeah, let's go. Let's see what's next.
Let's see. Another question. Burnout rate must be high in game dev, right? How do you handle the stress? Oh, this is the shooting course here. I recognize it anywhere.
Yeah.
So this is where we teach all the guns through everything. Yeah, Whiskey, burnout is pretty high in game development. It's long hours. It's really tough to keep relationships, not just romantic, but even with friends, because basically all of that's going to be contained within the studio because you spend so much time there. And I think the last stat I saw is on average, people were staying in the game industry about 4 to 5 years before they just left.
Yeah, the turnover
they
is
couldn't
huge.
handle it.
It's even worse nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah, it's worse nowadays when you're adding studio closures and layoffs on top of that. Like it's definitely getting a little ugly. I and a couple of my friends are rarities that we've actually lasted 30 years in this, but I have a passion for it and I love when I make stuff and I seem to be pretty good at it. So I stuck with it. But yeah, it's tough. You're gonna get laid off often. You're probably gonna get laid off anywhere from 3 months to a year. So hey, EV, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. So whenever somebody says they want to go into games, because I've taught at a couple of the colleges game design here at the universities in Southern California, I always tell them if you want to go into games, have at least a year worth of savings because you're going to need it between each layoff coming in. It's probably going to be longer this time. I unfortunately feel like we're going to permanently lose a lot of people from the industry with what's going on right now.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with a lot of companies overhired during COVID, right? So
Yeah.
but then they never intended to keep those numbers. It's just like massively overhired, and then they just put down their numbers again. So all these people that came into the to the industry during COVID times, like really shit out of luck because they're the first people to go usually, right? They're like the junior staff are usually the first ones to go. So
Yeah, I think
a lot of the time
the
you can
junior
get a
staff-
really good gig for 6 months working at Rockstar or Sony or Insomniac or anything, and then bam, 6 months later you're just out on your ass again on the street. It's tragic.
Yeah, we're starting to see the junior and the seniors getting let go. It's usually the middle people who are not super expensive, but they still have experience with the ones who are remaining in the industry right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we overhired for the pandemic because we just saw number go up and everybody just like, oh my
Yeah.
God, this is the next thing to invest in. So a lot of investment money came in. We started hiring a bunch of people, much more than we needed, and just putting butts in seats to crank out as many projects as we could. But we also oversaturated the market. There's not enough people to sustain the amount of games we're making. We're making 22,000 games a year if you want to count mobile, PC, console. Like the numbers are staggering just even on Steam. There's not enough people to support these games. So
And
these
the
studios
budgets are
constantly-
crazy as well, right? It's like, as you were saying before, like, 15 million for True Crime New York City, right? That's
Yep.
pennies compared to nowadays, like, budgets, right? So every game that comes out, even if the game does really well and sells like 10 million units in a day, it's like, oh, well, we spent 500 million on development. So unless we make, unless we sell 50 million copies, it's a commercial failure and they'll end up like laying off people anyway. So as I was saying
Yep.
before, like you can create like a masterpiece of a game, like with Tango Frameworks and Bethesda, and Hi-Fi Rush, and it can, because it didn't sell 100 million units, it's a failure, and therefore the whole team gets laid off. Like it's tragic. It
Yeah.
really is. It's really sad.
It is. Hey, thanks for the follow, you Phil 80. Yeah, I actually just did a video on my YouTube channel talking a little bit about that, where I know of one AAA game with a major publisher that's currently at 400 million and it's not done yet.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that studio is starting to freak out
Yep.
that if this thing does not sell gangbusters, a major studio in the game industry is going to go bye-bye.
Yeah.
And this one's gonna create some major ripples. But yeah, I mean, games are too expensive. Like they're focusing more on cinematics. They're hiring giant cinematic teams. Hey, Frost, thank you. giant cinematic teams to make what is essentially a Warcraft movie. And honestly, I don't care about that. I want good gameplay.
No.
I want satisfying levels. I want great character design. And I feel like, you know, you get these now 200-300 person teams when you could actually probably make this game with about 100 people.
Yeah.
If you're going to really be lean about it. And that's kind of what we need to kind of be profitable again.
It's like with we're speaking about overhiring during the pandemic. It's Ubisoft had the same thing with Skull and Bones. The Skull and Bones was in development hell for God knows how long, right? And then eventually it just gets kicked out the door because the Singaporean government got involved. And like, what are governments doing in games? You know, like, why are they having their fingers in that pie? And yeah, so the amount of money that then got invested from the Singaporean government, the amount of influence that they had over how the game worked, and then again, it came out and just bombed because it like wasn't even close to ready. It needed like another year. It just like wasn't fun at all. People played it for like an hour plus in testing, or like an hour, you know, maximum in testing, and just kind of ran out of things to do and didn't really care. Everyone knew it was going to be a complete flop, but it had to release anyway because the government wanted it to, and then it did, and loads of people lost their jobs. It's tragic.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's and I will say, and I don't know if you noticed this too, but with the mass overhiring during the pandemic, and I talked to some friends that I have in special effects here too, is when you're just like, we got to get butts in seats. We got a lot of people into the industry who, at least from my perspective and from what I saw, thought that games was just a cushy tech job.
Yeah.
They didn't care
for
about
sure.
the product. Matter of fact, they hated games.
Yep.
They wanted to show up and do a 9 to 5, get a huge salary. And we know that like games is a passion project. Like your passion shows in what you're doing. You have to love what you're making. And we got a lot of people who came in and just hated the games they were making and hated the industry in general, which was very odd to me.
Yeah,
And I felt like
100%.
that started to show with a lot of projects that were coming out recently.
Yeah, definitely.
Gooey Cool. Southwest Warrior, can you drop my Discord link in if you don't mind? But yeah, so, oh, sorry. I think we got one or two more images.
Yeah, a few more.
I
So
could
we got
talk
the,
game industry all day with you. Man. If you ever want to do a separate stream on that, we can do that.
Yeah. Let's have a look. So, firing. I think this is the same one. Oh, no, there's a slightly different one. So I think you might have changed this at some point. You see here?
Oh, it's a modification. Yeah,
Yeah.
I added some details in the center. I see there.
Yeah, especially with like throwables and stuff like that here. But this is like the next actual image, and this is the church,
Interesting.
right? The mortuary. Yeah.
Yeah. This is one of my levels here.
Yeah.
This is where I decided to set up the old dive, where you're jumping from the side in slow motion and using the guns.
Yeah.
And we had that mechanic, so I wanted to set up the pews here so that you could take cover, dive across, take shots, move up, take cover. So whenever we build a level, we want to. It does look like a barn, doesn't it?
So to give you context to that, so years and years ago, I was commentating a GTA speedrun at a big event, right? And there was a barn, and you know how barns, they have like how do you describe it? It's almost like a wind chime, and it looks like a cross on the top of barns.
Hey, Dark Fang.
Yeah. And I mentioned one time how it was a church, and they haven't let me live it down, right? So, because I saw the thing on the top, and I was like, oh, we're going past this church. Doesn't it look like a church, everyone? And everyone's like, no, you idiot, it's a barn. So everyone's been giving me... That was like 4 years ago now, and every single time a church or a barn comes up, everyone always makes a comment about it.
That's funny.
Yeah. I'm telling you, they look the same, bro.
I see it. I see it.
Thank you.
But yeah, like I think I was saying before, where we'll get a set of mechanics that are going to be used in a level, and then we use that to build a level around it to make sure that we're using everything we want to teach or whatever is kind of pertinent at that point. So that one has a lot of cover and dive and shoot like setups in there.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a commercial of dogs right now on your stream. I hope people can still see us.
Yeah, it should be good. If I could turn off advertisements on Twitch, I would, because I mostly play mature rated games like GTA and stuff. They pay me like nothing. I get like $1 a day for ads on Twitch. So like this, I wish I could turn them off, but you can't fully disable them. All you can do is put them to the minimum amount, which is 3 minutes per hour. So yeah, if I could turn them off, I would,
Right.
but sadly can't.
No, I get it. I get ads on mine all the time. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
It's like they always know when to put it at the right spot too. Like
Yeah,
where it's just gonna
exactly. Yeah.
irritate people.
Yeah. Like you
let's
can
see.
like manually run ads like before key moments, but sometimes you don't know when the funny stuff's gonna happen, on your stream, right? So it doesn't really work.
Yeah. Creates that nice FOMO that they want to get you.
Yeah.
Dark Fang, how do studios get funding for games? Does Activision or Sony help with the help?
Subscription.
So that used to be the case. We weren't as oversaturated as we are now.
Hold on, sorry, David. Just really quick to interrupt. So somebody just gifted you a sub. So one, you won't have ads anymore. Thank you very much, Whiskey Field. And two, I didn't want the alert to talk over you. That was all.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you, Whiskey. That is great. Oh, sorry. Back to the question. How do studios get funding? So back in the day, if you had a bit of a reputation, companies like Activision would come to you and be like, "Hey, you're really good at this car combat thing. Are you interested in doing this title?" You say yes, then you would kind of work out the deal. Activision, I think, gave us about 50,000 to make Vigilante 8 with, if I had to guess, giving it was only like a 4-person team. But bigger studios like Single Track and Incognito, who made like the Twisted Metal series, because they had worked with Sony before, Sony will kind of give you some trial money to make a game, and then you would make it, and if it's a hit and they like what you did, then they would offer you another one with enough money to make that game. But they would do it with milestones. So they said, okay, we'll give you 12 million to make this game, but every month you have to deliver on this, or you don't get a split of that until you actually finish the deliverables that you owe us. So first month could be like car driving around environment and 1 weapon firing. And the next month is like, okay, things blowing up and you got 6 cars and 12 weapons. And if you ever missed one of those, that studio would go without pay until they got those features in. And then, which is a little bit dangerous because some studios could go under if they can't make payroll at that point.
Yeah, a lot of the time, like development studios like that, especially smaller teams, they wouldn't have the money to actually, like self-publish or anything like that. So a lot of the time you would need to get a publisher, and a lot of really good games fell through over time because publishers dropped out or deals didn't end up working out and they just didn't have the money to do it. Like a lot of time you would need to work with a publisher, and they would handle, as David said before, like everything like marketing, advertisement, that kind of thing. And you would use that money to get it out the door, and without it, the game would be nothing. So it was, you want to keep them happy, right? So a lot of the time when they come in and they say, hey, we need this done by November, you go, yes, because otherwise the game doesn't come out at all. And a lot of the time, it releasing early and crunching is better than having a project that you worked on for 4 years never see the light of day. That's like the worst case scenario.
100% true. Yeah, or if you're really lucky, you could be a internal Sony like the God of War team, and you just get unlimited time and unlimited money at that point.
It doesn't happen for most, right?
It does not. The matter of fact, it still happens to this day. Like you were talking like God of War, La Fray, or whatever it's called. Those people are given a lot of money, a lot of runway without having to go around begging for milestone money or even funding for a project. But these days, current state of the industry, I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but funding is gone. It's gone even for indies and AA titles. With people seeing games failing and not being as profitable, that money's kind of gone away. So it's much more difficult to get funding for a project. I know some friends who've done it, but they have to have an almost completed project that they bring to a publisher at that point. They've already absorbed all the risks. So the publisher can just look at it and say, oh, this is great. We'll give you $300,000 and a little bit of marketing, which is pennies compared to what it used to be.
Yeah.
So they're definitely taking advantage of it. But if you don't have that, then they're going to ignore you. I mean, gosh, what was it? John Romero was even saying he couldn't get funding recently.
Which is mad to think about, right? Like
even with his name, yeah. Like known people on known products who have a name in the industry can't even get funding these days.
Yeah. Like icons as well, right? Like not just like known people. Like John Romero is like, royalty at this point, and he's still struggling. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Like the average guy doesn't stand a chance.
Yeah, his studio just went under too, didn't it?
Yeah.
Over in Ireland. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Not really. What's the most difficult system I've worked on? I would say, gosh,
GameCube is a cop out answer. You're not allowed to say GameCube.
Oh, you're talking about consoles. I thought you were talking about like a game design system, like
I could be wrong.
Whammy
Maybe
system
Carl
or-
can elaborate. I assume they meant system as in like what was the most difficult console to work with. Like
that if that's the question, it was probably N64 because
Oh,
we
yeah,
had
they
to
did
go
mean
in
console, yeah.
and like you couldn't fit the music on there that you normally could, so we had to go get MIDI music cut for that. You couldn't fit all the texture sizes that you could on there, so we had to go in and either reduce textures or do tricks like maybe the top of a car, not have a texture, but make the polygon the same color as the textures adjacent to it. Little savings like that. It was just very careful packing.
Yeah, cartridges,
but-
man. Like the size, even compared to like a regular CD for like the PS1, the cartridge was tiny, right?
100%. Yeah. That was probably the most difficult system I think we worked on. It's the one where you really got to know how to condense and pack and do low poly counts, which we just don't do today anymore. Like I was working on a project recently and we had a bunch of new artists in, and I'm used to like seeing textures that are like maybe 512 by 512 pixels, and this was for a phone game, which looked fine. And the artist, I'll preface this a little bit. We were running the game and the game wouldn't run, and we're like, what's going on? And the artist had textures that were 100 inches by 100 inches for a small piece of real estate on the phone,
Yeah.
which, as you might expect, is a million times bigger than it needed to be.
Yeah.
And it just ate up all the memory and crushed the phone. And a lot of this optimization and these kind of tricks that we used to do in the past just don't exist anymore. Like we used to
Yeah,
have to dump out the
100%,
Sony
yeah.
libraries just to fit extra textures onto the system.
I mean, one of the most influential horror games of all time, right? The original Silent Hill. I'm sure you know the story. The reason that the fog exists was not a creative decision. It was because they couldn't fit the game on the PlayStation 1. So in order to, make performance and whatnot work, they introduced the fog so that you didn't have the pop-in, from like the
render
textures not being able to
distance,
load in and stuff like that. And it ended up like being a happy accident that, it created like an incredible atmosphere. But it was entirely based on the fact that they had to optimize for such a small console. Nowadays, just release your game 300 gigs. Who cares, right? Like everyone has internet that can download it, right? It's like every game is like raw, uncompressed data. We saw it with, I think it was Marvel Rivals. I think somebody told me the other day, like randomly, the game got an update and it's like 80 gigs smaller now, just because they like actually compressed it properly and like actually optimized it. Whereas before the game was like 200 gigs in size. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, if you look at all the PlayStation 1 games, especially a lot of ones that I worked on, we had to fog everything because of the draw distance.
Yeah.
Because if you drew too many polys, it would just crush the PlayStation 1 system.
Yeah. Tiny
I mean-
hardware. You're talking like 64 megabytes of RAM. You're talking like, I don't remember how big a CD is, but it's not big. We're talking like, again, in the megabytes.
I think it was 700 megabytes for a CD.
Yeah, and then a DVD is
remember right.
like a couple of gig, I think. Like that's the most you've got, right? And then
I
like
know.
imagine how much of a challenge it was to fit like GTA 5 on like a DVD. It's crazy. And then nowadays GTA 6 is going to be like at least 100 gigs in size, like 100%. Like they wouldn't be able to put it on a physical disc even if they wanted to without like an extra download of content, because no disc will fit it. Like not even Blu-rays will fit that kind of thing.
Yeah, and you see that in a lot of modern games where you download it and it has like 2 hours to download. And it's just like someone didn't optimize this shit.
Yeah, you just download the whole
Someone-
rest of the game when you put the disc in anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting textures that are too big, poly counts that are too big for characters, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, how does Electronic Boutique get these interviews? Oh, you mean English Ben? That's what EB stands for.
Yeah, I don't get referred to EB very often. Yeah, pure happenstance is the simple answer. So the other dev interviews that I've done have been other Grand Theft Auto developers, and they were just because one of them made a video discussing the reverse engineered project, and they left their email in the description. So I just emailed them and said like, "Hey, would you be interested?" But the way I got this one with David was just he happened to come into my chat room while I was streaming True Crime New York City, and he just said, "Oh, by the way, like I was like the senior designer on this game," and I was like, "Yo, that's sick! Like we should do something." And this is how that happened. Yeah,
Yep,
complete
and
complete
Ben-
accident is the simple answer.
And Ben put this all together along with PMC Trilogy, so I appreciate that. It was a nice kind of impromptu playthrough / dev commentary thing.
Yeah. I would like to pretend that I'm so influential in the games industry that I can just bring people on, but in reality, my any work that I did in the games industry was like 20 years after any of David's work. So we were not even like we never crossed paths whatsoever. It was pure accident. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Let's see. I think we got another level in there if we want to show that off.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. So this is the non-target firing control scheme. I think this is the other level here. If I zoom out a little bit, yeah. I don't think of what level this is even.
This is the Sheik's apartment. I think this was like a side mission.
Yeah.
I wonder if did it make it in? I don't know. Maybe someone in chat knows.
I don't recognize it.
Did
But
a
it's
Sheik's
hard to
apartment
visualize
make
it with the top down view, right? So like maybe if it was like if I saw it like in a 3D environment, I'd recognize it. But this I don't recognize.
Yeah. Is there a small apartment you enter that has like a sitting mat and then stairs going up to a pool? I don't. Maybe this is cut content. Uh-oh.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't recall this in the game.
I don't recall this in the game either. It's certainly not in the main story, as you say. Maybe it could be side content. I know PMC would know if it was side content because he did 100% speedruns, so he would have done all the side stuff. But
this is either cut or side content. But yeah, this is not main run. Not from what I saw today.
Yeah. What else there is? How
did the experience of evolution of games from super difficult and harsh to tutorial based, no deaths and casual gaming come about? Yes, I have seen the evolution from beginning to end on this. A lot of that came from, surprisingly, is game industry became big business. So once we started getting in publishers and marketing and all these kinds of people, they basically said our audience is a little too small, so we need to make this more accessible for everybody to cast as wide a net as we can. Because we used to make some crazy hard games back in the day. So they started encouraging us to make games easier. A lot of people may not know this, and I want to say probably Insomniac, Ratchet & Clank was one of the first to do this, is because of players playing games and getting frustrated and experiencing bottlenecks, they put in something called dynamic difficulty tuning, where if you die like 5 times in a row, the game gets easier. It doesn't tell you it gets easier. It does it invisibly, because if you tell the player, hey, go play on easy mode, like a little, text shows up and tells you that, they get pissed.
Yeah.
But if you do it without them noticing, like enemies idle longer, or they run from cover point to cover point longer without firing at you, things you can't put your finger on, like damage numbers, then the player will eventually overcome this as it gets easier and easier. And then once they do that, then they get to pass that as a bottleneck, and they feel like they've gotten better and they've accomplished things. And then if they don't die for a while, it ratchets it back up. So it makes a custom experience. It was kind of like the first yellow paint in games that I'm aware of.
Yeah, there's a really good and kind of infamous example of that with the first Max Payne game. I don't know if you ever played it, but there's as you said, there's dynamic difficulty in the game. But the problem is there's also a quick save and quick load feature, right? So that's great. Quick loading is awesome. But if you were to quick load, it wouldn't register you have died, right? So you would go through, and by the time you get to the end of the game thinks that you've never died, because every time you die, you would quick load, right? Because it's faster than watching the animation and going through the loading screens and stuff. So when I first played Max Payne, it got to the final level, and the final level was like maximum, dynamic difficulty, and every enemy is like one-shotting you. They're like 100% laser accurate killing machines because they think that you've never died. But in reality, I have, right? So yeah, and that only happens on the easiest difficulty, like the normal difficulty of the game. On the hard difficulties, it's fixed. So ironically, the easiest difficulty is actually the hardest if you use the quick loading system, because eventually it gets so hard that it becomes more difficult than the harder difficulties, just because of an oversight with how quick loading and stuff worked.
That's interesting. That's
Yeah.
really interesting.
Well, that's on my mind as well. People were talking about before about like the evolution of gaming. I think 2 points that I want to like go over as well is number one was arcade games, right? So when we switched from arcades to home consoles, a lot of the arcade sort of theories as to how you would design games still existed. So arcade games, you would want them to be extremely difficult because you didn't want people to beat them, right? You wanted them to keep putting quarters in the machine, right? So a lot of the time, the games were like ludicrously difficult. Like the Mortal Kombat 2 arcade machines are like notorious because they input read you. So they're so difficult that you essentially have to cheese the fights, otherwise you can't win because the AI knows exactly what you're gonna do and they like frame perfectly counter it every single time. And obviously the intention for that is very deliberate, so that you keep putting money in the machine and you keep playing. Because if you beat it first try, you're only going to put a small amount of money in, right?
Yeah.
And then also the second thing is rental services. So it's the same theory as the arcades, but it's like more so in the early 2000s when arcades were less of a thing. But as home consoles switched into rental services becoming more of a thing, they didn't want you to rent a game for like $3 and then beat it over the weekend and then send it back, right? Because as you said, they didn't get any money from that. They wanted you to not be able to rent it and beat it. They wanted you to buy a copy. Like if you rented it, you would get a certain amount into it and then you would want to buy a copy on your own volition, right? Whereas nowadays,
100%.
obviously, rental services like aren't a thing anymore. You can like, family share with your friends on Steam, but aside from that, it's not really a thing. So digital downloads nowadays, every sale is like an individual sale, right? Like it's not very common. You can like borrow games from your friends, but AAA devs want to move away from that with the whole digital only thing anyway, because they want everybody to own a copy of every game. Whereas nowadays, back in the day, like rental services, like I used to do it all the time. I used to use a thing called Love Film in the UK, and you could rent like 3 games a month for like $10, and you could just I just beat them all in a weekend and send them back, But that wasn't as easy back in the PS1 days. Like you could not beat a game in a weekend a lot of the time. They were way too hard.
Yeah, you're 100% right about that. In fact, I'm going to add to that, like not with all the digital going in right now, they want you to buy that game. They don't want you to resell it to EB. They don't want you to give it to friends. But more importantly, they want you to rebuy that game because they get rid of the disk drive. Then all they have to do is do like, a remaster of Assassin's Creed Black Flag, even though you already own it on the older system, gotta buy it again.
Yep.
So with them doing that, they can keep reselling the same game over and over again. I mean, we've seen that with The Last of Us. How many Last of Us 3 remakes have they done at this point?
Oh,
remasters
ridiculous
at this point?
amounts. Yeah, like one for every generation of consoles, right? It's like PS3, PS4, PS5, PC, and then remaster of each of them. Like it's ridiculous. Rockstar is really bad for it as well. Like in the last decade, they always release it on consoles first, and then don't release it on PC for another year, so that people will buy it on console and then double dip next year and buy it on PC because they can't wait a year. Right, like a year is way too long to wait to play the game, so they have to buy it on PS5 first, so they don't get it spoiled and ruined for them. And then a year later, they buy it on PC because that's the better version, and it works. They do it because it works, right? Like everybody does it. It's gonna happen with GTA 6 as well. Happened with Red Dead 2. It happened with GTA 5. Like everybody owns like minimum 3 copies of that game. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I have so many copies of Skyrim because of that crap.
Yeah, Skyrim is another great example. It's on every console possible.
Spirit Horse, what? I noticed Goodrich FR. What does FR stand for?
For real. I can teach you young person lingo. There you go, for real.
Nice. Yeah. I've learned something new.
There you go.
I will give you a small anecdotal story if you got time about the difficulty of old games. Because we weren't really controlled by handlers back then, like big publishers coming in and sticking their nose in our marketing. Like one of my first games that I worked on, as I'm building it through and designing it, we would play our own games over and over again to kind of figure out what we want to do, and how we want to change things. And every time I'd play through a level, I would come back the next day and I'd play through it again, making changes and adjustments. And then at the end of the week, I'd play it again. I'd be like, oh, this level's kind of easy.
Yeah.
I need to ramp up the difficulty. So I'd ramp up the difficulty, and I'd do that again for another week. And I'm like, oh, this level's kind of easy. And I'd ramp up the difficulty. And what I was doing is I was getting better and ramping up the game to match my 50, 60 hours of gameplay on it. Which was a mistake because the first time somebody play tested it, they got obliterated. It was so impossibly hard. I can't even beat this game to this day now.
Yeah, it's like the dev tunnel visioning, right? It's like you know exactly where everything spawns at that point. You know exactly how all the mechanics works, but then dev difficulty, as they're saying in the chat. It's a classic thing.
Yeah, it's interesting times. I mean, we're slowly boiling game design down to a science, but it's moving into kind of weird areas of like you get your games like Mixtape that basically play themselves.
Yeah.
It's like why?
Don't even get me started on movie games, bro. I will rant about that for hours. People have heard me on my stream ranting about movie games.
You know what? I think God of War was one of the first ones to do that. I remember going to Sony and Jaffe was there and he showed me an early rev of God of War. And it didn't even look like Kratos. It was just a guy in Spartan armor with a shield fighting some harpies in a box puzzle. And he's like showing me other sections like the Hydra fight. And he's like, oh yeah, we got like a whole cinematics team from a special effects movie house. And then there's like one person who just does cameras. And I'm like, huh? That's I've never heard of these roles before. And then kind of looking back, I'm seeing this expansion of like huge cinematics, specific like moving away from like actual gameplay into we are making interactive movies at this point. Yeah. And I didn't realize the issues that were going to be coming out of that would eventually turn into, Mixtape or Last of Us or other type, things with these massive cinematics to them.
I always my thing has always been, so I don't at all mind movie games, right? Like games that like fully tell you like, oh, by the way, this is like a cinematic movie experience. But the games that really bother me are the ones that try and hide it. You know what I mean? Like you'll be walking along and they'll like artificially make you slower to make it more cinematic. Or you won't be able to sprint in this certain place because you can only walk indoors and shit like that. That really bothers me because it takes away like the player creative freedom. And it's very like, it's ironic because they don't want to break the immersion, but to me it breaks the immersion because I can hear the developers go, no, we want you to do it this way. You didn't stand in this exact spot. Therefore, we're gonna like, when you like you walk too far out of the zone and it says like mission zone leaving 10 seconds before you fail. Like, how is that not immersion breaking? You know what I mean? Like the dev's literally telling you should be over there right now. Like, I should be wherever I want. It's a video game. I'm the player. I should be able to go wherever I want.
Yeah,
it's super immersion breaking, and it's backwards because they want to make it more immersive, but in my opinion, it makes it way less immersive. Whereas like True Crime New York City, you can go wherever you want, just go whatever you want at any time, and at no point, and the game doesn't stop you from doing things backwards, whether intentional or not. It gives you that freedom to do whatever you want, and I think that's way better.
Yeah, true. I mean, a lot of those games that do the you're out of bounds things, it's just poor level design. Like they could have easily somehow capped that off.
Yeah.
But they just didn't have the time and resources, or their level designers weren't very good. I don't know.
I fully agree. I think it's poor design. I don't think there's any excuse for it.
How you doing on time, Ben? You okay?
Doing good. We'll have a look at these last two pitches and then
okay.
Yeah, start wrapping things up.
I mean, I have time. I want to make sure you don't need to be anywhere. All right, here's the Snap 2 shot location points that you could do. We tried to polish this up for the controller on console, where as long as you got somewhere close to one of these like yellow points, it would pull to it. And then if you try to push towards another one, it would snap to it. Kind of make it easier to get these accurate slow-mo shots on characters. And then obviously yellow dots are disarming, green dots are disabling, and then red is just you kill a person if you snap to these points and fire on them. So this is kind of a breakdown of what that system was here.
Yeah, really cool mechanic. I remember this was in LA as well. I think a slightly less developed version, but it was in LA as well. And it is really cool. And it's actually quite useful. You saw PMC was using it earlier. Like you'll get to a point where someone's running away, instead of like having to chase them, you can just like shoot them in the leg and just takes them out entirely. Which is, it's realistic, right? Like, Maybe not good cop, bad cop points, shooting someone in the leg, but it will stop them. Like, if you're running away, a bullet in the leg will stop you for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget. Did we put snap 2 points on the cars? I feel like
pass. I don't know.
I don't know.
So with
either. I can't
PC,
remember.
you just like manually aim everything, right? It's like quite rare that you use the auto aim, apart from when you're like out of bounds and shooting things blind. Most of the time, it's just manual
Yeah,
aim.
if you're speed running, you're probably not going to get. I think you have to buy that perk to get all the snap twos.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we put in where it would snap to like the gas tank or the tires, so you could blow things out.
Yeah.
I don't think there's snap to the license plate. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I have failed in my design duties by not putting that in.
I remember with Streets of LA as well, so they have like a really deep combat system, and the same again, you can go to dojos and learn new moves and stuff.
Yeah.
But the best way to fight like objectively is to just spam the same low kick over and over again. The same way in True Crime New York City, you spam light attack. You just like infinitely stunlock people. So it's quite funny because obviously like you and whoever made the systems in LA, you went to all this effort to get people to learn all these new moves, but none of them beat the regular attacks. Like the regular attacks are by far the most highest DPS, most overpowered thing. It's funny.
Yeah, we needed more time cooking for sure. It's very unbalanced,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But you got some insight as to why I made throwable so strong, because it was initially for if you ran out of bullets, then you could throw your gun, but you're throwing your gun away, so it felt like you should do more damage since you're going to be disarmed at that point. But
Yeah, it needs to be a trade-off.
apparently it
which
ran
makes
amok
sense.
with.
Yeah.
Here we go. Snap to not individual points, but between current targets. So if you're aiming a gun relatively in someone's direction and they're the center point of one of these bars, then it immediately goes to them. And then from there, if you got the perk, you can then snap to individual locations on them.
Yeah. All right, cool. I think that's the last one. Last one of the images.
Lot of aim assistant here for a console version, which maybe you kind of need.
No, 100%
sure.
necessary. Like with how fast paced the game is, you wouldn't be able to like stop and manually shoot, right? You need to always be moving. That's the whole point, right? You're moving, you're dodging bullets, you're using the dives, as you say, like between the like destructible geometry and stuff. It's so chaotic that on a controller you wouldn't have time to line up shots like this. Like not a chance. Yeah.
Yeah, putting shooters on console was definitely a thing back then. With that, if anybody has any more questions, I think we kind of covered everything.
Yeah, get them in
we
now.
went a little bit off tangent, but I think we went off on a good tangent.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you have any final questions for David, please get them in now. Otherwise, we'll wrap up. But thank you very much, David, for coming on. I appreciate you taking time to give us some insight.
Yeah, no problem. I always like chatting with fellow devs.
Yeah.
And talking about the good old days. I could go on forever. Will GTA?
That's exactly what we want
change
to. We want to have you on so you can talk about it forever, right? That's the whole point.
Will GTA 6 change everything? It will if they can sell it for that maximum price. That's going to change all. It's going to skew all the AAA titles into that price point.
Most of the pre-orders, I don't know if you saw, most of the pre-orders are with the new price, so the $100 special edition. So it's already happening. Yeah.
It's so
$100 for a video game. It's crazy.
I don't know. It's GTA can do it. It's a dangerous precedent for other AAA companies. Like, I hate to say it, but if Naughty Dog's Intergalactic came out at $100 price point, or God of War Lawfray, that is not going to be received well. I think GTA is the only one who can get away with this.
Yeah, it's like when so Mario Kart World, I think, was the first, I want to say, $70 game. People correct me if I'm wrong. And then, Obsidian, who made Fallout New Vegas, and they made the Outer Worlds. They went to release the Outer Worlds 2, and they put it at that same price point, and everyone was like, no, we're not paying that. So then they had to come back and put it down to 60 again, I think.
I remember
people
that.
will try it. Yeah. They'll, as you say,
Yep.
they'll see it. It's a dangerous precedent. People will try it.
Yeah, and some of them are going to learn a hard lesson, like someone was saying in chat. Like, they're going to see GTA and they'll be like, why can't we have that kind of money?
Yeah.
And then they're going to try it, and they're going to get a pretty hard slap on the hand.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
All right. I think with that, Ben and PMC Trilogy, who's still in the chat, thanks, guys. And again, thanks, Ben, for setting this up. If you,
of course, my pleasure, yeah.
ever want to do anything in the future again, let me know, and I think we can make it happen.
All right, much appreciated. And thank you to everyone who came and stuck in and asked questions and stuff. Yeah, please do check out David Goodrich_games. If you're on Twitch, you should be able to just click on the streaming together thing, and you can go right to his channel. If you're on YouTube, you can find him and say Goodrich_games on Twitch. What's your YouTube channel again? Is it Goodrich_games as well?
Yeah, I think it's Goodrich Games. If not, it might be the Goodrich Games.
I'm sure you can
think
find it
someone
if you
already
look up Goodrich Games. Like YouTube search is pretty good.
Yeah, it's linked to my Twitch at the bottom there, along with my Discord. And my guys, I see several men here. Please go give Ben and PMC Trilogy a follow also, and thank them for setting this up because this is a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say it wouldn't be possible without PMC as well, even though he's no longer here. So I don't have a clue how to speedrun True Crime New York's. This would be a very long, very, very long stream if it was just me doing a casual playthrough and David talking. It would not be nearly as interesting, I assure you. So thank you for PMC as well for coming on and showcasing some raw skill that neither of us possess. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and thanks South Warrior. He threw the link down there, but yeah, check out my channels. Ben said I'm going to start doing more deep dives into industry stuff and state of the industry. If you like that kind of stuff on the YouTube side, and then I'll be streaming my games, including True Crime, on both Twitch and YouTube. So I think with that, this is it.
Yeah, thank you very much again. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next time. For my viewers, will I be live tomorrow? What day is it tomorrow? Sunday. No, I'll see you on Monday. I'm doing my my birthday event. So I'm doing a week-long 8-hour streams every day to celebrate my birthday. Even though it's not my birthday until the 25th, but I'm leaving for Gamescom for my birthday. So can't be there. So I'm doing it the week before. Gonna be 29. I'm an old man now. Yeah, really old. But thank you. But yeah, so I'll see you all Monday. Thank you again, David, for coming on. And yeah, see you all later.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.